A very warm welcome to you wherever you are watching from around the world to our continuing live coverage of the Sudirman Cup Finals 2025, the World Mixed Team Championships for badminton, one of the most prestigious events on the badminton calendar, and this year taking place at the Xiamen Fenghuang Gymnasium. As you can see, it's day 2 of the competition, still in the group stages, and Group C will be in action a little bit later. 2 sessions for each of the group stage days. That trophy is what it's all about over the week. And we've already seen some great action on day 1, but that's the actual schedule. First 5 days of group stage action in 2 sessions, one in the morning, kicking off at 9:30 local time, and the second later on in the evening at 5 p.m. Day 6 will see the quarterfinals, day 7 will see the semi-finals, and day 8 we will be crowning champions on final Sunday. Groups A and B were in action yesterday on day 1, and today we're going to be focusing on Group C. Japan, Malaysia, France and Australia battling it out to start their campaigns. And as you can see right now, it's all set at 0. Today's schedule will see Malaysia taking on France in this morning session, and then later on at 5 p.m. Chinese Taipei will take to court for Group B against Czechia. So the Malaysian team always has a lot of strength in it. Notable absence, Lee Zijia, of course, in the men's singles, still recovering from a foot injury. But they have a number of great players, especially in the doubles. Goh Zifei and Nuruddin have had a fantastic run and moved up to number 2 in the world. Goh Sun Huat and Xiamen Lai, the husband and wife couple, will take on mixed doubles. And of course, Cheng Tangji and Toei Wei also in the mixed doubles. But it's in the women's singles where Goh Jinwei will be leading the way today. And up against them, well, as you can see, a very limited French team. Now, the French national team has actually made 17 appearances at the Sudirman Cup before. This team is missing out on some big names: Alex Lanier, Tom Gikel, Del Rue, the Popov brothers, but they've still got Merkel in singles. They've got Margot Lambert to lead in the doubles as well. But it is going to be an uphill struggle for these 10 players that have come here from France. And here's the order of play for Court 2. Goh Zifei and Nuruddin will take on Maël Catois and Lucas Renoir in the men's doubles. Goh Jinwei will then follow that in the women's singles against Leonis Hui. In the men's singles after that, Leung Junhao against Arnaud Merkel. That's probably going to be the big pivotal match for this tie. The women's doubles, Pearly Tan and Tinamuri Taran will take on Margot Lambert and Camille Pognant. And then the mixed doubles will close out the tie. Goh Sun Huat and Xiamen Lai taking on Gregoire Deschamps and Elsa Jacob. So players ready in the tunnel. And that's Grania Somerville, Australia taking on Japan on one of the other courts. And kicking off with the mixed doubles. In fact, as I said, the French team have had the highest finish of 9th in 2023. Very honoured to have with me in the commentary box Bobby Griffin. Bobby, for you, this time, Malaysia versus France, what are you expecting?
It should be a pretty strong win, really, this morning for Team Malaysia. The French team, as you mentioned, very weakened this year. They're focusing on the World Tour. They're focusing on the current training block, which they can fit in at home before the summer and all the World Tour events start again. It's been a busy period for them. You know, the Popov brothers getting to the latter stages of everything, including singles and doubles, European champions recently.
Which was recently, yeah.
Yeah, Alex Lanier, you know, they came through a big, tough week there. to not have them here this week is a real sort of weakening of the men's team. And same in the men's doubles, really. We're starting off with the men's doubles today, and this, in fact, is the 4th ranked French men's doubles pair, and they're going up against
the new world number 2s.
Yeah, no, China Open winners last year.
Yeah.
They're very capable of the highest level of badminton, so it's going to be a very tough start to this for the French team.
Uphill struggle indeed. Well, the Sudirman Cup is all about national team spirit. It's a wonderful atmosphere. We saw a lot of that on court yesterday, of course, in day 1. And let's see what France can do. First meeting between these pairs. And as you can see, they're at the coin toss. And that is Andrea Chiappini, Italian umpire for this one. And he'll be joined by Latif Jahari from Indonesia as service judge. This is the 19th edition of the Sudirman Cup. Malaysia have always been good finishers. But Gozifei Nunazuddin, as Bobby just pointed out, they have been on fire recently. The speed of the 27-year-old Gozifei from Malacca, down on the coast in Malaysia. And they really have set themselves up and set their sights on some very, very big titles. And here they've been charged with delivering the first point for Malaysia. And that is the format. Of course, if you've never watched the Sudirman Cup before, it is the first team to 3 points in the group stage. But being the group stage, all 5 matches will be played out for statistical reasons. And of course, should tiebreakers come into it. Nunazuddin, his partner, 27 years old, born even further south down in Johor. They split for a while, these two, but then they made their reconciliation. The differences sorted out, and now are playing some of their best badminton. Now, you said before, Bobby, that this French pair, the 4th ranked pair, what do you know of them?
Well, they're quite young, obviously. They've been training at INSET for about 6 years now. They're still learning. It's early days for them in their career. They've had good results recently. They did well in the Euros, beating Toft and Sonnegaard to reach the quarterfinals. Right. That's probably their best and highest sort of level of badminton so far, and that was very recent. Semi-finalists at the Dutch Open last year. They beat England's Hemming and Van Leeuwen along the way to get there. So
their initial results, yeah.
Yeah, they're dogged. Those matches that they've won, those surprising results have been in 3. So they find a way to fight through, but this is an entirely different level.
Well, just before they play, the big question is, have they got the speed to match Gozifei and Williams?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were going to say, because they are so lightning fast, the Malaysians.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure in the first 3 or 4 shots of the rally from serve return and onwards. And when we get into the rally, the Malaysians are so quick, terrific defence. They've done it at the very highest level, and they've come out with medals. So it's going to be a very, very tough start for the French team.
Well, that's confirmation of our umpire and service judge, Chiappini and Latif Jahari, and we are now ready to get underway with match 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, France, represented by Maël Catouin and Lucas Denois. On my left, Malaysia, represented by Gozifei and Nunazuddin. Malaysia to serve, Nunazuddin, Lucas Denois. Level, play.
So first blood to the Malaysians. That could also be another factor. Unforced errors could come into play.
Yeah, you'd expect more from the younger players. I mean, like you said, they were quite young and playing at this level. They're going to have to try and step up. That means taking a few more risks. That means playing a little bit tighter, going for lines, that kind of thing, which then brings around a few mistakes.
they've got no choice, basically.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a training game. It's not going to be that sparring level. They have to look for those tiniest corridors down the tram lines if they can. And as you said, it's going to be a learning experience for them.
It really will. We saw the same on court 2 last night with England versus Indonesia. And when you try and step up a level, you do force a little bit more. You've got a little bit more pressure on your shots and on your movements, and everything's got to be perfect for you to be able just to compete. And of course that can add a bit more pressure on your own shots and force those mistakes. At the same time, nobody expects a lot, so they can go out there and play with a lot of freedom.
True. They are
severe underdogs, yeah.
The underdog is the term of the tie, and the newly appointed badminton coach for Malaysia, Kenneth Jonassen, actually said to watch out for complacency from his team. They don't take a depleted French side for granted. Well, currently 2-3. Both pairs just finding a rhythm. It's always tough being the first pairs out on court, especially kicking off the group. I'm sure they'll be a lot happier once they have that first game under the belt. Going Zudin already pulling away.
Yeah, even with a couple of early mistakes from Nur Izzadin. He's the guy that is allowed to play with freedom out there. Goji Fei's so solid. He's almost the rock with the team. It's a bit like Tan and Tina for Malaysia in the women's doubles, where Tina Muralitharan barely makes a mistake, very solid, but also doesn't create a lot. She's not going for anything special. And Pearly Tan's the opposite. She's the flamboyant one. She's trying all the trick shots. She's all the slices. This is similar here in this men's doubles. And of course it's the first match in the group, so nobody else in the group's played yet. It's the first time Malaysia are on court. It's a rest day essentially yesterday in training. You can expect a few sort of mistakes early on.
A little bit shaky. Malaysia made it to the quarterfinals at the last edition, the biennial event, and they were taken out. In fact, they made it to the semi-finals, and South Korea in the end that denied them a finals position. As I said, for France, their best ever result was 9th in 2023, but they actually made 17 appearances in the 18 editions so far.
Best rally we've seen so far as well. I mean, that was the French are competing here. They're combative, and that's really encouraging. There we go.
Well, I think what would be important is just not letting Go and Zudin get into their stride, because once these two get fired up, then it's almost unstoppable. So you need to break that pattern up early.
What a serve.
Yeah, that was great.
Goji Fei there could have played that. Just a misjudgment.
He tried to go deep, straight to the body. 9-5. And rapidly approaching the first mid-game interval. And a good straight run of points for Go and Zudin.
The speed of the Malaysians, particularly sideways, that lateral movement, that's not going to be something the French are used to.
Well, as you said, they've taken it to the best. It wasn't just a China Open, and they've taken it to Chinese pairs as well, and actually caused serious problems for them. Absolutely deserving of their world #2 ranking, that's for sure. And we are at the break now.
Par contre, dans le jeu, à partir du moment où vous sautez au fil, on prend vraiment que le filet et on laisse passer. Ok. Il faut vraiment que celui derrière il couvre un peu plus. Ils sont passés une fois vite derrière, voilà, un petit peu au fond, mais sinon ça rejoue les zones. Il faut que t'avances sur celui-là. Ouais, ouais, ouais. D'avancer en vrai. Ça laisse des trous sinon. T'as raison. Ok, bien pris en défense. Okay, vous avez vu, dès que Izudin commence à amortir, il faut avancer un peu plus vite. Il faut essayer de rejouer les zones. Là, vous avancez pas.
20 seconds. Luca. 11-6.
So 11-6. And a buffer. Just going to make Gozi Feng and Noah Zudin a little bit happy in that. So it was very wide. Went looking for the corner.
7-11.
Now what I identified in terms of drift pattern yesterday was bottom to top.
Yeah, it looks like it, yes. I mean, things change in these big arenas and can move around. Difference in morning to evening, temperatures, the amount of crowd in here. So there wasn't a huge sideways, to be honest, but it did seem a bit endy. People were reporting, particularly in the morning session yesterday. It's definitely a better end to play on.
That's good movement by
13,
Gozi Feng, anticipating, getting closer to net.
Renoir was floored completely then. Amazed the French managed to collect themselves.
Well, you can just see it in the footwork. You know, they're just a little bit shaky. A couple of extra steps here and there. And it's so important in doubles to have that movement so you know where you're going to be and get your rotations right. Positionally, they do look like young players, as you said, and that might just be the difference, because once Xifei and Izudin, they have a great awareness of where each other are on court.
Yeah, it's things like that. At the start of this rally, Gozi Feng managed to get in front to take the shot, but Ne was already committed.
That's right.
But as soon as he realised his partner was there, he gets back into position to cover the danger area, and he does it at a lightning fast speed, and that's the difference between these pairs at the very highest level.
Yeah.
They don't leave gaps like
They don't
that.
leave gaps, and they're never too flat, never too vertical. There's always that diagonal going, one attacking hand ready to go. That's a great shot.
Deceptive, lovely little double action.
He is such a creative player. I love seeing the team dynamics going on.
We had a great atmosphere last night with the Indonesians. Indonesia and Malaysia are always so vocal.
Oh, I think that's it. Well, they're picking spots now. Certainly they've Go and Izudin, maybe the first 4 or 5 shots were a little bit shaky, but now they are finding open court and easily. 3rd, 4th shots.
Good return.
It's going to come back hard.
That's
And
lovely.
that's it. That's exactly what we're talking about positioning. You know, there's reactive positioning, there's proactive positioning. With doubles these days, at the level that we're talking about, you need to know, you need to anticipate. Microsecond too late on your reaction, and it's over. 17-8.
Serve over. 9-17.
serve. Wow.
Good point.
10, 17.
Well, as I said, all 5 matches will be played out in these group stages, and the tiebreakers, if needed at the end of the week, will be based on points, results between the tied teams, match difference, game difference, and point difference. And that's why currently this score for Malaysia is very, very good.
What a shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Tucked it out here.
Serve over. 18. 10.
I like to say hits the chalk, but it's not chalk anymore.
There's calculated risks, and that was certainly one, going cross as far as he did. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be likely to see a sort of tie-break in this particular group.
No, yeah.
The way it is with Japan and Australia and a weakened French team.
Yeah, it's
those two Asian countries.
It would be a headline if it wasn't Japan, Malaysia, let's face it.
Exploiting that space sideways has been a real sort of strategy in the last few points for the Malaysians.
So really, the big match, Japan-Malaysia, to decide if it does go that way, as to who's going to top group and who isn't, it's going to be on Thursday morning.
Yeah, that's going to be an epic.
Service over. 20. Game
So,
point.
9 game
11.
points after just 12 minutes. And a good first game out for Go and Izudin. Oh, wonderful, putting the power in the back. Good effort.
First game won by Malaysia, 21-11.
So 21-11. And if Go and Izudin had any nerves about leading off their nation, then they'll be settled now.
Yeah, the last rally was a good example of how the French are having to cope with that speed of movement across the net and those fast, flat exchanges. They're just not quite as ready as the Malaysians, and it's been a big key difference.
Un peu trop droit, surtout non fort. Parce qu'en fait, on est bien sur le droit, mais dès que c'est trop levé, c'est quasiment jamais droit. Soit un peu plus reculé déjà. Okay. Plus de variation et un peu plus reculé. C'était mieux en défense. Okay. Là, vous jouez un petit peu plus simplement. Au début, vous faites.
Xiamen, Indonesian legend, doubles player, looking very happy and content with the output of his awards so far.
C'est différent de ce qu'on a l'habitude de faire, parce qu'on a l'habitude de recentrer. Mais contre eux, il vaut mieux faire le bloc.
Your 20 seconds.
So back on court for game 2. And let's see if the change of ends
Second
and
game.
Renoir any good.
Level. Play.
Too much pressure.
Just moving forward very slowly.
every shot's just doing a little bit more damage and putting the French on the back foot. It's very hard to get out of that trouble. One good shot needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anticipated nicely by Xiamen.
And that's that movement forward. Still a little bit shaky on the movement, but at least he was setting off at the right time. Oh, that's the kind of unforced error that you don't need.
2, 1.
It's been quite effective, the flick serve today, from both sides. But they have to stay in. There's been too many out wide.
Delightful first 4 shots played again. I'm impressed with the ideas to use the angles. It's just as you said, they have to keep it in. They have to keep it precise.
Yeah, you've got to stand your ground there. It's difficult. Gojifei obviously so solid at the net. I mean, look how much pressure he's putting on them.
It just doesn't move back. He, you know, sets up his stall in mid-court or front.
4, 1.
So racing off to a 4-1 lead in the second.
Can't afford that kind of miss. Had plenty of time there, Renoir. They're not even in top gear, the Malaysians. That's the thing. I mean, they're just cruising around. It's almost like a training game for them.
I was just about to say. I mean,
5, 1.
We've seen them move, and that speed we were talking about, they just don't need to use it right now.
That's right. I mean, it's not that they're not giving their best. They are, but they're just not needing to move at 100%.
Yeah. An error, but it's also very reactive from the youngsters. I think that, I mean, as a player, reacting and proacting, those are things you have to learn over time, right? I mean, initially when you get on a badminton court, it is just hit and hope and hit wherever you can. But trying to get that strategy, trying to get that pattern, especially when you're playing doubles.
I suppose it's an extrapolation. You know, they're doing the right things. It's just, like you said earlier, that reaction time. You play a shot, you switch your feet in a certain way to cover certain things, and that becomes an instinct. And it becomes something that happens lightning fast.
Muscle memory.
Over time, and until they are consistently playing against that speed of shot coming back at them, that won't become a pattern. You know,
you have to think about it before you do.
Yeah, whereas the Malaysians make it look easy. They're almost hitting these shots because their feet and their rackets are in the correct position instantly.
8-1.
So good from there.
9-1.
And the French pair have...
Look at the confidence to take that shot on. I mean, Renoir was in front of the service line, although he didn't have his racket up, and Nurse still went for the shove at the net.
First challenge coming.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, I think.
It is valid.
Slightly late call from the line judge, and on that main angle there, it did look like it might have gone wide.
Just, by a centimetre or two. Still first challenge of the day. And quite busy getting us the undisputed truth. Here it is. Yeah, a couple of centimetres off. Good idea, once again. So that should be 10-1.
10. 1. 8.
Xiamen with a chance. Perhaps could have put more pressure on.
Service over. 2-10.
Once again, we can't. That's a beautiful return from Sudirman. Wow. Left the rest of the court standing for 11-1. I believe that's Xiamen, the other Malaysian doubles coach.
Encore, il le prend tout le temps. Ouais, mais et organisez le temps, comme ce qu'on fait en fait. Là, à la rigueur.
For 20 seconds.
Yep.
For 20 seconds.
So back on court for the conclusion of game 2. And Sudirman and Gozi Fei
11-2.
are looking
Play.
right on course to deliver Malaysia's first point in the tie. Oh, that's beautiful from Renoir, I think it was.
Service over. 3-11.
Can't leave things that high. You just can't, because you know they're going to be jumping.
It's a good smash from Coach Fei to set that up, positioned well, and
not for him. That was actually still a half-power smash. It wasn't.
It was the placement. It's not the power,
Oh, yeah.
and so often it's the case in the doubles, particularly when you're playing into the drift. If that drift is still the same as last night.
We'll get a better understanding of that when the women's singles step on court, and that looks like it's going to be soon. 13-3, unassailable lead. That's one, and Renoir have never been in the lead, but this second game, we've just seen Sudirman and Gozi Fei just solidify even more. Good pickup.
It's a good rally. That's a really good rally from the French. That's the best we've seen from them. Malaysians did absolutely nothing wrong. It's just the shot quality and the speed of movement this time.
He also pushed forward nicely as well. That looked suspiciously like it caught the wind. Well, they are rapidly pushing ahead. It's an 11-point lead now.
It's good defense again from the French.
Just left it long. Difficult end to be playing from. Now remember, as we said, it is a weakened French side. This would have been the Popov brothers playing Go and Sudirman, I'm sure, had they been in Xiamen this week. Tough look at that net lane. Get into that repeating pattern, higher and higher, and steeper and steeper. 17-4.
It's good footwork, and of course, there's also the fact they've been playing together. Yes, they had that break, but they've been playing together on and off for years, and they know what each other's going to do. So, if one of them hits a smash in a certain place, whether it's cross court, the other guy's looking out to cover the next lift.
Over. 5-17.
in 2023, citing a lack of connection and trust was the actual reason for it, but amended themselves. Strangely enough, that was actually what has been recently afflicting Xiamen and Toei Lee as well. They split for a bit, but just a few weeks ago, have decided to patch it up. We'll see them in action, well, not today, but definitely against Japan, I'm guessing.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, Go and Lai are having a pretty good spell as well for the Malaysians. So
there's good strength and depth in mixed doubles.
It might be that Chen and To are sort of obliged to turn up for the Sudirman Cup and play as a potential second mixed doubles pair, because like you say, if their split's committed, the chemistry might not be there. Are they going to try for each other as hard as they would have done? I'm just not sure, and I don't know the reasons for the split. So
that's still unclear. Yeah, you know, all we know is that they were willing to play with different partners. That's what they said, but it wasn't really out in the press. So as we've been talking about Cheng Tang-Jin and Toei Lee, Go and Izudin, 19-7 up, and 2 points away from point one in the tie.
Well covered, Catherine.
8, 19.
Late flurry of points,
19.
possibly down to a little bit of complacency from Go and Izudin being so near the end, but no doubt that they're going to settle themselves in now. That serve has been happening too much.
Yeah, and it's been from Renoir quite often as well.
20.
It's a good serve if it's a few inches left.
9.
Yeah.
So, confident lead this time though.
11 match points.
That's in.
Malaysia challenges called out.
Well, from that angle, it looked like it was on the line.
I'd be very surprised if this is out. We have a good commentary perch. Certainly looked like it bounced, but absolutely on the mark. So, 21-9 in the second and 1-0 up for Malaysia in the tie.
Really solid performance from Go and No without really having to get into top gear all that often. They were just in the right place and playing the right shots, and it was more than enough today.
A good run out for them. Kick off their campaign. And there's confirmation of it. 21-11, 21-9 in 29 minutes. And Malaysia 1-0 up in the tie. Coming up next, it's match 2, and it's the women's singles. Go Jinwei taking on Leonis Hui. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the Sudirman Cup Finals 2025 here in beautiful Xiamen, very historical city, and actually well known for its marathon every year. Now that's where we are in this tie between Malaysia and France. Go Zifei Nuruddin scoring the first point. Women's singles up next. Go Jinwei taking on Leonis Hui. There is Leonis, ranked 81 in the world. Go Jinwei, of course, was a prodigal junior talent. Had a couple of medical issues midway through her career. Since then, of course, I mean, it's not going to take away from her great shot-making quality, but consistency and reliability have been a little bit shaky, and she's currently ranked 43rd in the world. And here they come. A 5'2" Go Jinwei taking on the 5'6" Leonis Hui.
She's taller than that. That must be outdated. I've been spending a lot of time on the tour with Leonis of late. She's taller than me. She's a yeah.
She does look that
a strong athlete.
But I'm guessing, Bobby, we're going to see a similar situation to what we saw before in terms of experience, in terms of being on the tour. Even Go Jinwei is in a shaky part of her career in terms of form. Shouldn't have any significant problems now.
She shouldn't, but it's difficult to say because I don't know which Go Jinwei is going to turn up for this match.
Yeah. First meeting between these pairs. And that's Liu Yun, our umpire for this one.
It could be a competitive battle. It could be a complete domination by the Malaysian. It won't be dominance from the French, I don't think. I'd be very surprised. But, I mean, we're looking at Go Jinwei, who 10 years ago, 2015, won the World Juniors at 15 years old.
No, she was
you can play to
amazing.
19. That was an incredible performance by a 15-year-old to win the World Juniors. Very few have done that at that age. She won it again 3 years later, still a year young, which is pretty amazing. She actually retired at 21 and then came back, and then she got banned for 2 years from Malaysia for the fact of how she retired. And she's been quite underwhelming as a senior. She's only once runner-up on the World Tour.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising. So sometimes she comes out and she looks brilliant, and she is her former teenage self. Sometimes she comes out, goes through the motions and straps through and doesn't make it, and it's difficult.
Frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's see what Leonis Hui can do. 24 years old, and there is confirmation of her current ranking, and our highest ranking is actually where Go Jinwei is right now.
And again, we're not looking at a European superstar. You know, she's won one title, which is a Future Series event, so it's not the highest level. She's been runner-up 3 times in the International Series level QA. But you watched her in the Europeans. She got to a 3rd set against, I think it was one of the Danes, and lost it to 3, I think. And it didn't look like she was injured. It was quite surprising. So, again, very up and down. When she's fired up, when she's feeling positive, she's quite a threat on court, and I'm hoping to see that from the French today.
Well, we just got a shot just now of that new coaching director for the Malaysian squad, Kenneth Jonassen. And those 3 runner-ups you're talking about, the Portugal Open in 2020, the Swedish Open in 2024, and the Swedish Open again this year. Bronze medalist at the European Women's Team Championships twice in 2020, 2024. And 3 silvers at the mixed team championships. There's confirmation of our umpire Liu Yun. And she is joined by, yes, that's Jacob Sinberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, France, represented by Leonis Hu. And on my left, Malaysia, represented by Guo Jinwei. France to serve, level, play.
So Leonis with the serve. That's a nice opening serve.
Very passive so far from Go Jinwei.
Yeah, not going for any kill shots.
She's just sort of easing her way into the match. The movement from the Malaysian, just very relaxed, almost walking at times. You mentioned earlier her shot quality, and that's what made her so special as a junior.
Yeah.
Very disguised racket.
Yeah, she uses a lot of deception, yeah. But I said it's not just quality, it's the consistency as well. And mobility was a big problem for her because, of course, her medical problems as well. She had.
She's looking very lean at the moment as well. She's lost quite a lot of weight.
Once again, very much like the first match that we watched on Court 2, the difference in world ranking could see a lot more unforced errors.
It's gone long, I think.
Oh, that has gone long. I was about to say from Leonis. Virgin Way obliges us with her own. Under no pressure there at all. Just overcooked that. So 2-all.
Yeah, that came off QA's racket. I think it was going wide anyway.
I think it was going wide, yeah. She faulted it.
Well, it's a quick match. They're not wasting much time between points or between serves. Look how quick Go Jinwei is to get up and serve.
That was actually too quick for the umpire. Good reset there by Jinwei. After it took a clip off the net.
5.
So beginning to pull away. 5-2.
She's doing it again. This. Well, the complaint is to the French for not preparing early enough, but actually it's the Malaysian who's getting up there very, very quickly and serving without really setting. She's
interesting
just
situation.
Trying to get through this quickly.
So many matches that we've watched, Bobby, where the issue is the delay of keeping it too slow. And here, we're going too fast.
Well, Huey's got to keep her wits about her, because if the umpire doesn't slow Go Jinwei down, Leonis is going to be under the pressure of not being able to give the chance to sort of reset. And
well, right now I'm impressed with Leonis and how she's approaching this. She's trying to put the pressure on.
I think she broke a string there in this kill.
But you're right, she was such a shining junior, Go Jinwei. That's a nice little net shot.
8-2.
Yeah, it was. was just effortless, wasn't it? Just turns it across at the last second. She's so quick though with this serve. I mean, it's great to see. That's what everyone calls for all the time. Just get the match going, you know, don't waste. But this is bordering on the ridiculous.
Well, they've been on court for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's 9-2. Electric pace to this match. Well, Leonise has the right idea. She's trying to play it behind Jinwei, limit the options of the shots she can bring back. She certainly doesn't want to leave them short, but 11-2 at the break, and still a lot of work to be done.
L'arbitre, elle est dans ce sens-là avec toi. Okay, donc fais vraiment attention, mets la main. Ta première attaque, il faut qu'elle soit pas trop molle. Si c'est slide sur reverse un peu mou, elle adore ça. Ta première attaque, tu peux mettre dans la boxe, ça fait tout stick. Tu l'as fait 2-3 fois, c'était bien. Okay, quand elle fait sa première attaque molle sur reverse, là, le spin, ça reset. Et c'est pas terrible, c'est là où soit
ouais, mais le problème, c'est qu'elle est... comment ça, je vais faire un truc au centre, son slide, il n'est même pas...
42, 20 seconds. 42, 20 seconds.
Good speed also, good movement.
Player back on top.
Well, the Malaysian coaching crew very happy so far. I did notice Kenneth Jonassen saying that a little bit of variety, a little bit of variation.
11-2. Play.
As I think he spotted that Leonise likes to come straight down the middle on the tee.
3-11.
So I think he was indicating to Jinwei to just try and shift it a bit to the corners. And maybe vary between front and back court.
Lovely shot. She's certainly not as quick off the mark as the Malaysian, and I think that's what Go Jinwei is trying to exploit, is get her twisting and turning. Like you say, she likes to come straight at you, so if you can get her moving sideways and you can get her twisting and turning, that's the key. And I think that's also why Go Jinwei serving, getting up to serve so quickly and wasting no time at all between points. Fitness comes into it, and sort of body. You want to unsettle Hue. You don't want to give her time to get ready because she is quite a powerful athlete.
Well, Jinwei's certainly got her moving a little bit more left and right now. A huge buffer, 9-point lead. Lift right at the net.
Service over. 5-14.
Now, I'll be interested to see what Go Jinwei can do from the other side of the court, because right now, of course, she is playing with that little breeze behind her.
Looks quite quick both ends today. We've seen quite a few out of the back.
Oh, shot turn.
Service over. 6-15.
Error, 16-6. And now it's Jinwei's turn to replace the racket. just not happy with which racket she's picking. That's 6 different choices. So she settles on the one. Little discussion going on between Wei and Jinwei. I think it's about changing the shot. Well, Hui now trying to work the angles. Still there, just a couple of extra steps needed. Wasn't anticipating that shot. Movement just a little bit slower. As you said earlier, Bobby, Jinwei looking very relaxed, 1-2 steps off the tee.
Yeah, she's always had excellent footwork, and I guess her stature causes her problems. I mean, she, like you said, I think she's 5'2".
Yeah.
And while she covers the court well with her feet, the reach isn't there. And
that's
so
right. She is susceptible to high attacks.
Yeah, and you get her late in the rear corners, and you know, she's often taking it behind her, and it's difficult without being very, very strong. A bit like Yamaguchi, for example, is very strong in the legs, so she can play them on balance, even when she's really, really late and recover well.
Yeah, yeah.
Jinwei has to do it with speed, which is perhaps why she's now lost a bit of weight, to be lighter, to be quicker. Quick she is between points. How often do we see players just walking around, looking at the court, you know?
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
This today is lightning fast. That's not good enough, surely. And again.
11 minutes. Moving on.
Almost complacent from Go Jinwei. There were 2 or 3 shots in that rally that were just looped in very slowly, and it's not what we normally see from a player that is fearful, respective of her opponents. She just thinks she's too good here, which she's proving to be so far.
A bit of encouragement for Leonese.
Go Jinwei barely moved. She wasn't set, she wasn't low, she wasn't expecting her to have to work hard in defence. She's almost happy to say, look, if you want to hit a brilliant shot and beat me, fine. We'll just go the next point. I'll win 2 points for every one of yours anyway. You know, it's
10 points ahead, so why not?
Yeah. Same again. She could have taken that forehand, let alone backhand, and then when she did commit to the backhand, she didn't play it with any quality. She just looped it back into court. It's
But there is a
half-hearted.
dearth of very talented women's singles players in Malaysia, and that's no disrespect to Xiamen, who's the other women's singles player in the.
Yeah, she's here this week, isn't she?
She's still growing. She's still, you know, evolving. But it's been a long time since the days of Wong Mu Chu and. 21-10.
First game won by Malaysia. 21-10.
Well, almost complacent towards the end, Go Jinwei.
Yeah, I thought that.
Very relaxed. She certainly has another gear to go into if she wants to.
C'est bien si tu continues à avoir une attitude, à être agressive et à ne rien lâcher, ça peut le faire. Ok, faut vraiment que tu y crois. En défense, continue à pas jouer mou, à toujours mettre un peu de vitesse si tu peux, à repasser par-dessus elle. Ça c'est très bien quand tu as réussi à faire quand elle venait te chercher dans le jeu à plat. Donc tu repasses par-dessus elle et là elle est en défavorable sur le fond de court. Et là tu as des bonnes situations sur la zone avant. Ça c'est très bien. Pareil, tes premières attaques, il faut que ça soit stick avec pas mal de vitesse, ou soit dégagement fixé. Attention à la longueur, je pense que c'est le terrain là, le côté le plus rapide, mais tu dois passer par là-dessus. Et c'est comme ça que tu vas arriver un peu plus en avant et que là tu vas pouvoir mettre la pression.
T'as l'impression de courir après le ballon et c'est embêtant. Tunggu saja belakang, next shot. Ini saja, antara apa-apa. Kalau rally apa-apa kaki dia panjang tinggi lah. Dia mesti stick. Ada sesuai dia ada.
Okay, just same mindset at first set start. Have to fight already. In the beginning, until you get the rhythm, it's okay. Then you struggle. You have to fight for everything.
So back on court for game 2. The French coaches were encouraging Leonise to up her speed.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2,
and the Malaysian coaches were echoing what they said before about playing the length, especially from where she is now into the drift. So it'll be interesting to see the result of that if Leonise does try and up the tempo, as her coaches were suggesting, whether she leaves any spaces behind.
Second game, level, play.
So, kicking off game 2.
I want to really see what level Go Jinwei is actually at, and it's tough to really gauge that in this match because she's not having to give her very best efforts.
She doesn't have to get into second gear, and as I said, you can see Leonise trying to push the points, trying to move a bit faster. But with that extra speed, just got to make sure the accuracy is there. And I think later on in the week, as I said, there's only Xiamen and Go Jinwei in terms of women's singles. So in the Japan match, they're most probably going to play Jinwei, and she's going to have to up it there, of course. Most probably, in fact, facing another junior champion, Miyazaki.
What a shot. Yeah, Miyazaki's a great player. Actually won the World Juniors a year young and lost it on her year to an incredible young Thai who we've not seen yet, Opat Neeputh.
Pink.
Yes, Pink. Nicknamed Pink. I'm still waiting for her to explode onto the Senior World Tour because she's something special.
Yeah. Service over. 2, 3.
A little bit closer at the start of the second. Well marshaled by Jinwei.
Service over. 4, 2.
Stayed in. Did it stay in?
I think it did.
Reactive cross whip forehand from Jinwei. That's that shot quality. She's and again she's serving so quickly. Umpire had to call for a let.
Happy to go with a high lift serve from that end. But still drags it.
Service over. 3, 5.
Pretty good coaching bench, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Rexy Manaki and the Great Dane.
So pulling away once again, Go Jinwei, and Yuni Sui is trying every trick in the book, really, but it's just got to be about precision, reliability, and consistency.
Oh! 8-3. Okay. Wait.
So rapidly approaching the second mid-game interval.
Wait. Back and court. Play.
Immediately looking for the line, Jinwei. Nice net shot, and again, but left it too high.
9-3.
Oh, she was given the point. This is great. Wow.
Wow.
Anticipation is not even the word to describe that.
That's prophetic. That's seeing the future.
3.
A lovely shot. That's better. That's
Beautiful shot.
we're going to need to see that variation from Leonise. The initial movement from Go Jinwei is so quick that she makes the court look smaller than it is, even for somebody of her stature. And unless Leonise can get her off balance and sort of use that deception to almost trick her,
she's going to be in that place.
She's just there all the time.
Well, as is the case in so many racket sports, it is the footwork that sets up the position, that sets up the shot. So many people just focus on the shot.
Lovely.
It is the build-up. That's a very nice net shot as well.
Yeah, you can get Go Jinwei out of position or sort of playing shots on the full stretch quite easily.
Yeah.
You can see that, but it's the follow-up that needs to be really good, and that's what we just saw there from Hue.
Create the advantage and then
take it early.
Yeah.
Service over.
Well, 11-6 at the break.
Et pour ça, quand tu veux un peu plus, quand tu te sens moins en capacité d'aller attaquer fort, tu peux aller faire des contrôles au milieu, recentrés où tu n'y attends rien. Et justement, c'est elle qui va aller croiser derrière, qui va aller excentrer derrière, et là tu vas pouvoir intercepter. Il y a aussi peut-être un peu plus jouer en construction sur son fond de court coup droit, dans le sens où quand elle attaque droit, tu es bien en défense croisée, en défense revers, et quand elle fait son slice croisé, tu es bien dessus aussi. Donc je pense que la zone fond de court coup droit est peut-être plus avantageuse.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
Well, I can tell you now, from my smattering of French, that's exactly what you were saying, Bobby. He was advising Leonise to try and get behind Go Jinwei, try and, get her off balance, get her out of position, because that's what you do. That's how you're going to weaken her shot by changing the position. If, of course, she can get there. She has to do it with a lot of speed. And you can immediately see her trying to stretch it.
Yeah, it's going to be sheer hard work from the French to create that opportunity time and time again. And it's going to take every ounce of energy as well, which is going to be quite sapping for Leonise, who probably is double the body weight of sheer muscle compared to Go Jinwei.
Giving it a go in this point. Nice bit of trickery at the nets. Better movement, and that is a miss.
8-11.
12-8, wins the serve back at will. Goes round the head. But you can just see there that the split step, just keeping around the tee and making sure she's always got that option to go left or right. As you said, instinctive footwork. Shuttle. And this is a good run comparatively from Leonie Wei.
Yeah, I think it's the level at which Go Jin-Wei is prepared to play the rally at. There are times there where she's almost stood bolt upright, which she would never be on a singles court. Only if you do a super high lift and you're almost walking back to base because you've got time before you need to drop down into your split. But otherwise, you're never upright on a badminton court during the rally.
Yeah.
And Go Jin-Wei is because she's, well, I hate to say it, but there's laziness at times because she doesn't need to work as hard, so it's difficult to maintain top gear.
You can see the complacency in the body posture. Yeah. Well, a lot closer in this second game now. Having to work a bit harder.
Good punch clear.
Well, she's beginning to stretch Jin-Wei a little.
Yeah, she is.
That's the aim.
Really good rally from Leonie. Shot quality has to be great, and also the
physicality of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she needs to be able to maintain that physical level to put the Malaysian under pressure.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, if she can keep this going, and Jin-Wei's missed that, if she can claim this second game, then things will get interesting. But it's been a straight point run for Leonie. That's going to give her a lot of encouragement. It's just gone long.
Service over. 14, 12.
Yeah, good shot. There you go. You get the Malaysian off balance and you can create opportunities. And that one shot with a bit of disguise was enough to do that.
Well, are we going to see a first lead, in fact, a first tie on the scoreboard for Leonie? She's been trailing ever since the start. Nice. And that's long, and we do. 14 all.
Sheer hard work from the French.
Yeah. A little bit of concern being shown there by Maxie and Kenneth. Great kill.
I'm glad to see that because there's too many times where Go Jin-Wei has been winning points after playing a very lazy shot. That, she could have got behind the shuttle so much earlier and she could have then played such a more impactful shot. It's almost, I don't want to say disrespectful, but it looks just lazy and half-hearted. She's just...
Oh, she's throwing this second game away.
I said at the very start, it just depends which Go Jin-Wei turns up today. And the first half of the opening game, tons of shot quality. All right, the movement wasn't quite there, but since then, she's too upright, she's almost walking, and she's making these kind of errors.
Making these big errors now. 17-14.
I used the word frustrating earlier in the same way to describe her senior career. Same thing we're looking at right now.
Well, you can see it written all over the Malaysian coaches' faces. She had
Oh,
this
dear.
one in the bag.
All Leonise needs to do is move fast, focus, and just keep fighting here, because she's got the Malaysian if she can keep the shuttle in court.
2 mistakes from Leonise. Go Jinwei has to wake up here. Another let called from that service being too quick.
Leonise, get ready quicker. Okay.
I find it quite strange that it's Leonise that's being told to get ready
Okay.
quicker when it's Go Jinwei who's playing or getting ready to serve at such speed. I mean, by rights, the whole world should do that if they can physically, but nobody does because everyone wants a breather between points. But that's also a sign that Go Jinwei isn't working as hard as she can, because if you were, you'd be out of breath and you'd want to take a bit of time before you get up to serve.
18-16, and the best chance yet for Leonise Wei. Now, psychologically, this is going to be very damaging to Go Jinwei, as on paper they would have expected this to be a straight win.
Thank you.
And it's going to give a great deal of encouragement and confidence.
I think it's, if I'm honest, opening up a spot in the women's singles for her teammate tomorrow, because
Xiamen,
the Malaysian coaching staff surely won't want to rely on this kind of performance.
Yeah, it's too
risky.
It's porous, it's shaky.
17, 18.
She has to come through this.
Look how quick she's getting up to serve. I can't quite believe it.
While relying on mistakes, it's 18 all.
Look, she stood ready to serve already. I know we're on shot of the Malaysian team, but I'm glad Huey's slowing her down, trying to find a way. She needs to use that kind of sportsmanship to break any momentum. Just relentless to the forehand deep corner of the French. One long though.
Over. 19, 18, 10.
Oh, this is going to be a dagger in the side if she wins this. Go Jinwei has nobody else but herself to blame.
Oh dear.
Personally,
it's a difficult watch, isn't it?
Yeah, from a neutral's point of view, it's actually quite exciting that, that we're getting to 19-19 here. It's looking a little one-sided. That's gone wide. She's luckily got herself a match point.
If Leonise had dug deep and just kept going, not only could she have won this second, but she had a very good chance of taking this match, you know, because
quick serve again.
The mental state of Go Jinwei looks very lost today.
3 mistakes in the end have gifted Go Jinwei a win here. It was not her finest performance in any manner of speaking, but she's won it 21-10, 21-19.
21-10, 21-19.
Big smiles, relief, I think, from Jonassen and Monica.
I don't think we'll see Go Jinwei hang around too long. I don't think she really wants to be on court. There's something going on.
Oh yeah, you just want to like
to finish.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think they're just going to take it. I do expect to see Xiamen, as you said, playing the next one, but credit to Leonise Wei for picking up her game in that second.
I don't think she did. I just think Go Jinwei threw it away.
From 11 to 18.
The Malaysians lucky to have won that in that second one.
Well, 21-10, 21-19 is what's going to go down in the history books in 33 minutes. And Malaysia now 2-0 up in the tie. Coming up next, it is the men's singles. Long Junhao against Arnaud Merkel. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the Sudirman Cup 2025 here in Xiamen, World Mixed Team Championships for badminton. It is day 2 of the competition, and we are focusing on Group C, where Malaysia are taking on France. And this is where we stand right now. It's been straight games win, very confidently from Go Zifei and Nuruddin. A little bit lucky from Go Jinwei in the women's singles, but this is going to be the tie that could turn the tide. Long Junhao, men's singles, up against Arnaud Merkel. There is Merkel. Looked like the smiling face of Kong Hee-yong actually just now. Long Junhao has been, well, living in the shadow of Li Zijia for a while, but Li Zijia, of course, being injured meant that Long Junhao has had a lot of exposure, and in all honesty, he's really risen above himself. Now, can he deliver the third and winning point for Malaysia here in the singles? As you can see, massive height difference between the two players. But he is a tricky player, Long Junhao. Very attacking minded. And they're about ready to enter the arena. Well, a heavily taped up right arm for Long Junhao. So it is the men's singles, match 3 of the tie. Still to come women's doubles and mixed doubles after this. Well, Bobby, this tie should have a little bit more of a bite to it, as both of these players are stalwarts now on the HSBC BWF World Tour. At least we see enough of them. Long Junhao not so much, I guess, but definitely more familiar with the big games.
I think this match might look and appear a little bit more like the men's doubles we saw earlier. I think it'll be fairly one-way traffic for the Malaysian, but in saying that, Arnaud's improving all the time. You know, European Junior champion a few years ago, beating Christo Popov, and his ranking sort of surprises me. I want to see him doing a bit better regularly.
Yeah.
But again, it's a...
So he's ranked 62 now? Is that right?
Yeah. It's the Malaysian performance, a bit like we saw for Go Jin-wei just now.
Arnold, I have
He's very capable. He's capable of beating the whole world on his day.
Yeah, it's just reliability. It's
yeah,
just,
consistency.
Well, as you can see, it's 1-0 up in the head-to-head.
On my right side, look, on my left side. Service.
But unlike Go Jin-wei, Long Junhao does come in with a bit of intensity right off the start. He doesn't walk around. He doesn't generally, you know, he likes to push forward.
C'est ça le côté rapide, hein. Maël et Lucas, ils sortent
But he's got a wonderful jump smash action. And speed as well. Of course, Malaysian fans watching around the world would have loved to have seen their hero and talisman, Li Zijiao, take this match, but as I said, foot injury for him. He's still not ready for action yet. Ng Si-yong also not ready for action yet, so they are very much depleted in the men's singles tournament. Justin Ho is in fact the backup for Long Junhao, is leading. There you go, 25 years old, born in KL, capital city, and currently ranked 26th, which is just 2 off his highest ever ranking.
I think all of them would lose to both Alex Lanier and Christo Popov right now if either of those guys was here. They're both in brilliant form.
Well, Lanier especially, wow.
Popov was so unlucky not to beat him in the semi-final of the Europeans. 21-19 in the third, I think it was, and actually looked like the better player, just didn't have the big smash on the day.
So just getting ready and warming up. And this is the match that could put Malaysia top of the group. Well, actually, with Group C also playing Japan, Australia on the other court, we'll have to wait and see whether that is the fact. It's going to come down to who
ready to play
wins better. And I'm not even going to start to go through those permutations. We're going to wait till the end and look at the stats. There are dedicated professionals that are keeping these stats for us. There's Latif Chahari as the umpire for this one. And he's going to be joined by Andrea Chiappini, there he is, and service judge.
Liang Junhao won the Japan Masters last year, and to get there He had to beat Lakshya Sen, Koki Watanabe, Kodai Narioka, Jonathan Christie to get to the final, which he did, to face Li Shifeng, who's obviously on his debut incredible as well.
But that run, wow.
So that's the level, you know. There's no way we'd expect that of Arnold. And I guess you've got to look at what's the best potential we're looking at. If both players play their best, what would the result be? And that would be a Malaysian win.
Play.
So really, it is all up to Leong Junhao to lose if he does. And that could just be down to his, as his coach pointed out, complacency. Don't think you're going to win as soon as you step on court. Play your best game, keep your eye on the shuffle, and nothing else. Merkel off to a 2-love lead. That's a good third point. But I somehow think that that's not going to be the pace of this match. I think it was played at a very easy pace, that point.
Yeah, it was good shot quality from the Frenchman, actually, because Leong Junhao didn't really have anywhere to go with the smash. Merkel kept him off balance, or rather kept him from getting really far behind the shuttle and up high. So credit to Arnaud for that.
Sylvain, Andre, Merkel.
Silva, 3-2.
A lot of you might remember Anna Merkel from 2022 as being the finalist that never won Side Modi International. He was about to play Lucas Clermont, his compatriot, tested positive for COVID-19, and that final was called off. Both were awarded runner-up points.
4-2.
Very few times that's happened. But he later, well, this year in fact, he won the Swedish Open in January.
It's a good pub quiz fact.
Yeah, it's a great pub quiz
that.
fact. There was no winner of the Side Modi International in 2022. So 4-2 up right now. Merkel taking things very carefully.
Five-two.
Point by point. That's exactly how he has to approach this match. Mistakes coming from mid-court.
Yeah, he struggled a bit in defence, especially in and around the body. If I was Merkel, I'd be trying to exploit that more and more. Good shot quality from the Frenchman again. He's just keeping Leong from being able to unleash the big attack, and it's not necessarily the one smash that's going to get through today, but it's if Leong can get behind it early and, you know, get up off the floor with the jump smash and follow it in, that's where the damage will come. So Merkel's doing well to prevent that from happening.
Right. 3-6. 6.
Nice pick up there from Merkel. Pushing forward nicely.
Yeah, good backhand.
7-4. Leon.
Oh, that's great anticipation from Long Junhao.
5-7.
Knew exactly where he wanted to put it. You see him moving here. And this time finds his length. Remember, he is playing that slight breeze behind him. And that might be one of the reasons why he's being a little bit more, well, over-cautious, Long Junhao. Just 2 points back. Oh, it's a nice net shot, and he's left that one. I think that's gone long.
6-7.
No challenge from Arno.
Shot.
It's a beautiful shot. Well, he's found his range now. I think it's more a question of just warming up for Long Junhao those first 5 points. But certainly from mid-court, he seems a little bit more effective. And that last point looked like he was dictating the action a bit more.
But it was Arnau that gave him that lift that allowed him again to get up behind the shuttle with time. That's the thing, if you've got time on the back line, you can then dictate your attack.
8-7.
You can smash and follow it up, you can slice and cover that one, you can punch clear. If you're not given the time to get behind the shuttle and you have to take everything here or behind you, that's what Merkle was doing really well to start.
Yeah.
Like that, for example. See how Leon couldn't get behind the shuttle, had to take it.
9-7.
Got away with it, but perhaps a bit lucky.
Well, no, I agree with you. I mean, your shot options when you're playing it from behind you are very much more limited. And it's punch clears and big lifts to the back. But certainly nothing too aggressive and downward. Oh, that's nice. Place that, just the right place, just off the right tip.
Pressure in the mid-court. Almost like a doubles player there, Merkle.
A slight burst of frustration. I don't think Long Junhao wanted that at all. Tight first game, though, as we approach the mid-game interval. Well left.
9-0.
Pretty even contest this. It
well,
could easily continue like this all the way to the end, and it might go the distance. It's hard to call.
There was a lot of talk in Malaysia, obviously, and a lot of talk in the badminton fraternity about Malaysia's weakened singles contingent. But it's when you see it in action, and we just saw Go Jin Wei and now Long Junhao, and you realize what an impact Easy Gel would have made. But they do have the doubles to count on, and they are at full strength. Malaysia finished third in the 2023 edition and fourth in the 2021 edition, fourth in the 2009 edition, and those are the only results that they've come up with at the Sudirman Cup. And of course, that's 2021 and 2023 editions did rely heavily on Li Zijiao. Oh, nice from Merkel.
Yeah, and a good defense.
So 10 all.
10 all. Leon, can you check? Line change.
Well, that was the longest rally, 49 shots.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Arnold.
Now was expecting
11,
a more elaborate net exchange, but Arnaud was not having any of it.
It's a loose shot from Leong actually at the net.
A bit high, yeah.
Tried this double action and gave Merkel a chance to just push the shuttle down at him.
So Merkel 11-10 up at the break.
Terlebihkan buka overhead. Setiap kali dia bagi tengah kan, dia suruh pusing badan untuk forehand. Ini bola tadi break, itu sangat bagus. Depan kasih kuat sikit. Apa main net? Tapi kalau dia lembut lumayan net apa. Tapi you jangan start to net dulu.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
He's covering that forehand so much.
Okay. Yes.
More intensity needed. That's the general message from the Malaysian camp, and also that...
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
Yeah. More intensity needed, and also, I noticed Kenneth Jonas saying that Arnaud has covered his forehand, so he's got to not rely so much on the forehand from mid-court. That's where things have been going wrong. Oh, very nice. Sudden decision by
Malaysia challenges, balls out.
Well, he was right there.
I don't often think these are the ones to challenge. You know, the high lift that lands softly on the back line, it's easy. If the players left it and the line judge was quick to call it out, it's a waste of a challenge, really. It's the ones that go flat and fast across the court on the back line. Those are the ones to challenge.
Remaining. 12. 10. Play.
Merkel with a 2-point lead. Getting picked off at front court.
13.
It's unusual. Just seemed to stop.
Oh, medical timeout. Looks like is that blood on his knuckles? That's exactly what happened to Supisara Posampran yesterday.
Yeah, from the dive. The racket hand diving to pick up a forehand shot. We're going to scrape the knuckles. Looks like it's bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely going to need to.
I don't remember a dive since the break, though.
No.
So that must have happened before the break.
To be honest, even with Posampran yesterday, and she hit 2 knuckles, but when we saw the replay, it was very odd. We didn't just did, unless of course Dechapon's racket had hit her and hit her knuckles at some point in a very fast rally, but she didn't hit the floor. That was actually a lot of blood. And that's one thing that they do really pay attention to, the officials. Cannot have blood on the courts. Because any liquid of any sort on the court, in fact. But this looks like a quick patch job on the little finger. And the other thing that was interesting about poor Sampran's injury was it wasn't on her racket hand. So, a little bit of a break in play. And the scoreline nicely set as well. Now it's got to sting a little bit. Dodgy place to get a cut or a graze on that knuckle. Well, doesn't seem to be resolved just yet. But here it comes.
Very nice gentleman, the medical officer there. I travelled back from a tournament in China last year with him in the transport to the airport.
That was good bedside manner, yeah?
I was, yes, yeah, nice chap. He's got his own medical practice, and he lives up in the Northern Lights in Scandinavia.
Wow.
And he's shown me all these photos of
the aurora and stuff.
Yeah,
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 great.
It's very cool.
Well, ready to get back to action, and it's a well-placed first game. Arnaud Merkel 13-10 up. So Long Junhao with a little bit of
13-10
work to be done.
Play. Further 11-13.
Now I wonder if Long Junhao is going to switch from that mid-court forehand that has been ineffective. But the real question, I guess, Bobby, is what would be effective for him? What's he going to use?
I didn't hear the entire conversation, but it sounded to me like
11.
Kenneth Johnson was advising Leong to avoid lifting to Merkel's forehand, he's looking for it all the time. Okay. But I might be wrong. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really hear the whole conversation.
Well, we are being treated to some solid rallies.
I can see why they were asking for a bit more intensity from Leong, and it's hard. He's not able to find an attacking combination that's getting through Merkel today.
Yeah.
Either the Frenchman's defence is just being superb, or something is lacking in Leong's attack, and I think that's why they are asking for intensity. Just to me, it doesn't look like he knows how he's going to win points here.
Well, it certainly doesn't look like the player that ran off that run you were talking about against Christie and Narioka. And I think Merkel's making himself very big on the other side of the court. He's making himself a presence. So possibly just adding a microsecond of thought in Long Junhao's head as to where he's going to go. As you said, no plan as to how he's going to play the point.
I mean, I'm sure he'll play the point the same way he always does, but there seems to be something lacking today.
Yeah.
And it might be credit to the Frenchman, because he's improved. His defence is standing up really well, and And he's playing
moving
shots
quickly
with enough quality in the first place to avoid that attack. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. It doesn't seem that Liang's getting behind and then going for combinations that are going to win. And that might be credit to this man. So
and his net shots have been letting him down. I'd say he's about 60% on net shots right now.
I think Liang's had a few performances that stand out compared to his teammate here, Justin Ho's in the team. But from what I saw of Justin Ho in the last few months of last year on the tour, he's able to put in better performances than I'm looking at right now.
Right.
I can't work out whether it's Liang's not quite at his best or whether it's Merkel's improved. Either way, it's a very competitive match, and
the scoreline always reflects it. That's very nice.
I think he broke a string in the process.
But he was moving in the air as well, right to left.
See how he set his feet to look for that corner. He knew the lift was going up there. He was there early to hit down. We haven't seen enough of that from Liang. It's been very passive, reactive, which is why the coaches were saying, look, we need to see more intensity.
Control this game, Well, Merkel with a fantastic opportunity here to take this first game. Has to keep it tight though.
14-17.
And this would be France's first game won in this tie, if he can take it. Another mistake from Merkel.
17.
And very much like Go Junwei, Long Junhao might be just getting a get-out-of-jail-free card here in this first game. Nice pick up from Junhao. Oh, he was out of position there. That's beautiful from Merkel. Marshaled that back line well enough. Net shots, still a lot to be worked on. Mid-court still not really working for him, and Merkel not really giving him enough smash feeders.
Yeah, Merkel's controlled the net quite well today, actually. Confidence to play back at the net and not get punished. It's been quite impressive. Like that, for example. Had to lift this one.
That's out. So 19-16, and that intensity that was requested of Long Junhao, we're seeing on the other side of the court.
I'm not sure if there's a physical problem for Liang. I'm trying to work it out. Yes, he's got tape on his shoulders, or both right forearm and the left shoulder, but it's the legs. I'm not seeing that first initial step,
that explosion,
to get behind the shuttle to then have options. Doesn't seem to have that many options from the back line.
Thank you.
Definitely limited shot options for him and from himself. Merkel's doing his own caging, but Long Junhao's not doing himself any favors. Better change of direction.
Yeah, but it's the quality of the net. We didn't see it on the replay, but the lift was only in the middle of the court, and that's because the quality of his net shot was much better. Shouldn't really miss from mid-court at any width.
Right.
these top players can hit it hard enough to not give you a chance to get the shuttle back.
Another solid rally. Better.
Yeah, hard-fought rally. It looked a bit more intense from the Malaysian. I'm impressed with Merkle today. I know that went long, but he's had a really good game so far.
Ready to push forward straight after that shot.
Nice shot.
It's just good to see Merkle up for it. He does really look up for it.
Le reste, c'est vraiment bien.
Anybody's guess from here. He should have that, and he does. So, Leung Junhao might not be on top form. He's got himself a game point. Patchy in women's and men's singles so far from Malaysia. Can he convert? And the answer is no. Extra points it is. First to 2, first to 30.
We talk about intensity. Merkle was all over that. More like it.
Yeah. Jumping in.
For the last 4 or 5 points, we've actually seen that level of intensity.
Explosive.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know where it's been until this point.
So, second game point for Leung Junhao.
Thank you.
Oh, that should be killed, and it is. So, after a little bit of umming and ahhing, 22-20, Leung Junhao can breathe a sigh of relief.
Leung Junhao's serve caught the net, and Merkle had to react really late. What a shame for him, that bit of luck.
What a good performance.
Good performance, but I think Leung Junhao until sort of 16 or more wasn't really playing at full capacity.
Croisé, lobe croisé, il y avait une autre. Mais de la place ailleurs, je vois un corner qui bloque là, c'est ma faute.
Chaque moi je crois que quand on joue un peu plus loin,
mais il m'empêche de jouer loin parce que du coup lui il joue plus du tout loin. T'as vu, soit il joue très loin au fond, soit il joue plus proche et ça descend. Et du coup j'ai du mal à rejouer ça. Ouais. Moi je joue plus loin dans le terrain. Soit ça avance un peu. Mais parce que c'est difficile à contrôler le lobe. Et comme ça tu prends le volant un petit peu avant et tu peux continuer à jouer un peu lent. Après il nous faut de temps en temps un peu plus de volume sur le lobe. Parce que quand tu joues un peu tendu, on donne
Make sense?
Lagi satu you tengok dia main kan, setiap kali lembut dia boleh buka. Tapi dia kuat sikit kan, dia pun buka cepat kan. Itu you mau mah. So you kuat sikit tunggu, dia buka you boleh attack. And now you with win, so you boleh attack ni boleh ni. Tadi service variation bagus. Fokus
Part 2, 20 seconds. Part 2, 20 seconds.
So ready for game 2. Change of ends, and let's see if that further end
Second game. Level.
benefits Yong Junhao a little more.
Good opening rally.
Great rally. Just a bit long.
Silva. 1 love.
Looks like the drift has changed a bit today.
Tiny bit, yeah.
It's reasonably quick from the far end, so where Liang Junhao is hitting now. Yesterday, I'm sure he was hitting sort of into the drift a little bit, but today it seems pretty quick.
Ono knows that was rash, impetuous. If you're going to vary it up, as Dong Junhao was trying, you have to be accurate. Still struggling with those mid-court net shots.
There wasn't enough variation for me from Leon in that rally. He kept going for the same corner and with the same deceptive shot, which wasn't really that deceptive in the end if you keep using it.
Yeah.
Silva, 2, 3.
Well, these quick exchanges at the net just always seem to go Arno's way.
He's having a good day in the forecourt, isn't he?
Yeah. Worked for him as well. 5-2.
There you go. Gets time behind the shuttle to get off the floor and pick his place. We haven't seen that much today. And I just don't know whether it's that initial explosive push-off from Leong or whether it was the shot wasn't the best quality from Merkle this time.
Right.
Still trying to work that out. It's been a bit of an up and down performance from Leong.
Well, if you do lead a bit in his hitting zone, right at the front, that's what you're going to get.
Better rally from the Malaysian.
Well, body language looking a little bit more confident in his chat with the coaches. Perhaps he has stumbled upon the formula that he needs. Again, marauding forward.
Yeah, better. Good smash, good follow-up.
Now he's putting a little bit of pressure on. That's in. But you can see him moving forward.
6-5.
So 6-all. Arnaud has to keep his focus. Interestingly enough, Young Junhao, the last 2 or 3 points, has been staying well away from these delicate net exchanges, which he's been getting wrong. He's been looking for power from the end of mid-court, just at the back of it.
Yeah, you're right, actually. And until then, he hadn't played soft at the net much in this second game, and that's the reason why he's getting beaten there today.
Yeah. 7-all.
You can choose to just sort of push the net shot into court a little bit more to land somewhere on the service line. As long as it's not going up, you're fairly safe, and it limits the options for your opponent.
Yeah, it has to be downward, you're right. This is just an open gift. Trying to gain some control and look for that big smash of his. Oh, nice pickup.
Yeah, that was a great dive.
Better defense. Lucky he didn't touch that.
8-7.
There's certainly more intensity about Leong in the last 4 or 5 points.
It's exactly what his coaches were looking for.
It's a shame. That shot was nice, but well left.
Thank you.
Well, just to give you an update on what's happening, some of the other courts as well. Japan are now winners, 3-0 up against Australia. 1-1 between Korea and Canada on court 1. And of course, 2-0 here in court 2.
Leong's got to be careful around the net today. I think you spotted it earlier. He's just,
he has to stay away from it.
Yeah. Arnaud's just...
if it's not working, and on top of that, Arnaud is dominating.
Yeah.
You just need to stay away from that. It needs to be a mid-court to back-court game for him, which kind of plays into what he wants to do anyway. He's got a great smash, so if he can set that up somehow,
9-all.
force Merkel into some big lifts, and then that might be his best bet. But if not, I think it's going to be a struggle. As you said, like this, 9-9, 10-10, 11-11, all the way. And he was lucky in the first game. playing from back court. Now he steps into mid court.
Oh, that's clever. Lovely bit of deception.
Very nice.
10-9.
Sold him up the river here.
Yep. Well, that's the other thing we haven't really seen that much of. Long Junhao has always been a very deceptive player. We've seen, I think, about 30% of that. He's been going straight on, dead straight on. There hasn't really been any racket head use. But that, as you said, might be down to Merkel and the shots that he's been providing.
Perhaps I haven't seen Leong play enough.
Well, certainly the ones I've seen, he's not as tricky as Ng Si-young. Ng Si-young is always trying to go for those very flary kind of angled shots. He's got a little bit more power. But they are three very different players. Ng Si-young, Lee Si-ja, and Long Junhao are three very different players. And I think right now Long Junhao is trying to emulate one of the other two, as opposed to be himself, in a sense.
He definitely doesn't look settled today, for sure.
He's definitely not confident.
He has at times, but at other times,
11-10.
the body language doesn't seem all that confident.
Well, he's made it to the mid-game interval, and Merkel again ahead, 11-10. Remember, he was gifted that first game. 3 mistakes by Merkel at the end.
Yeah, but also when you spin, trust me. Just go for shot. Can do it. Yeah, when you choose. Then open up. Only is good. Then you can
Part 2, 20 seconds. Part 2, 20 seconds.
Okay.
Arnold.
Quick swig of water.
$11-10.
So,
play.
Still everything to play for. 11-10. Deep serve from Merkel. Gives him control of the point. Good lifts. Just behind Junhao.
It's a good rally.
Yeah, it's a great rally.
Merkel taking a second look at the back line.
Oh, that's a bit loose.
Oy, bit of luck again.
Lucky bounce on the net. And Long Junhao acknowledges that. But it was great to see them both fighting for the initiative of the point. So important to get on top, not making your opponent do all the work.
Harder.
Mop harder. That was the instruction from the umpire. I like that.
Well, you just never know how you're going to perspire in the end.
Wow, look at this T-shirt on Merkel. It's just painted on.
Yes. Long Junhao survives that net exchange. And that works well. That combination has been working well for him, if he can pull it off. So he takes the lead.
Oh, he's just not getting much luck around the net today.
Taking his eye off the shuttle just at the end. As micro players, I like to call it, around the net, it's just not working for him. He needs to go big.
Leong, get ready quicker.
Must be quite a challenge for Kenneth Jonassen to be working over in Malaysia now. He's always been sat behind top singles players from Denmark. Well, you know what you're going to get. There's a lot of consistency there over the years. He's, you know, obviously Axelsen, Antonsen, before that Janne Jorgensen, and you know, look at those players. And
Malaysia challenges, falls out.
I think this is a valid challenge. I know Merkel was immediately quick with the fist pump, but it did look like it may have bounced in. Key point once again. Oh no, way out, way off.
Challenge unsuccessful, one challenge remaining. 13-12. Play.
That's a better net shot.
Fortunately,
right
into the hitting zone from Long Junhao. So 13-all. Well, Merkel tried to do a Go Jinwei. That was incredible, that shot that she played in the women's singles. But now, of course, incremental pressure, game pressure is going to be on Merkel as he is one game down. He knows that if he needs to get anything from this match in this tie, he might just be tempted into doing something a little bit more risky. And that could be the option that Long Junhao. But I do agree with you, Bobby, that this has not been a sparkling Long Junhao performance by any means.
No, there seems to be times when he's got a bit of attacking momentum.
Yeah, he's just got a monkey on his back. And that net, I mean, it may as well be 10 foot high for him today.
14-all.
Quite an erratic performance from him, but again, it could be to the credit of the Frenchman.
Well, just looking at his reaction, Junhao's reaction from that failed net shot, the frustration of not making those net shots is beginning to settle on him. He knows he should be doing better.
Brilliant.
The only net shot that he's now comfortable in playing is the lift to the back, and of course that was intercepted beautifully. (15-14). Can Arnaud force a third?
Thank you.
Constant discussions in that Malaysian coaching corner. Oh, it's much better from Long Junhao. And that's out. No, Merkel, I don't think that's going to work.
Out.
But I was so way off on the last challenge that I'm just going to keep silent and let's see what Hawkeye has to say. Definitely.
Challenge unsuccessful, one challenge remaining.
So 15-all.
15.
You called it, Bobby.
Play.
Point for point.
Out.
No,
Outside the net. 16-15. The starter still in this time. Wait. Arnold.
Merkel happy with that.
Serve 16 all.
It's a real sort of dogfight now.
It is.
This match.
It's a crunching affair.
And the more
17,
Arnaud
16.
Merkel pumps that fist and gets vocal, I think the more it's looking in his favour this second game.
While he's trying to draw Junhao into the net because he knows that's where he can score. Almost caught out of position there.
He's gone back, Leong, to that lack of intensity again. That's why this second game's in danger for him. Look at all these lifts and clears, how much he's playing the rear court. I know what you were saying earlier about avoiding the net, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there are ways in which you can attack without using the net. That is one of them.
Yeah.
Variations.
To be honest with you, I don't think he was planning that.
He needs to be better in the mid-court. Drive the shuttle down, just prod it at your opponent more and get a short lift. That was delightful, though. That's a reverse slice. even Merkel was appreciating it.
Well, if there's one thing you could say about French sportsmen, they are extremely expressive.
Serve 18, 17.
So, business end of the second game. Is Long Junhao, like his compatriot Go Jinwei, going to get a lucky break here? Because based on the run of play, this really should go to Merkel.
Oh no. This time, better net shot, gets the slightly shorter lift. Can't find the attack. Not in position, he's not really that deep in court, and Leong smashes into the net.
Well, you can see the frustration there.
Yeah. That's the right word, frustrating.
19-17. Better net shots from Long Junhao, but still just not 100% convinced.
Better slice. I thought the first attack he hit should have had a bit more power to it. He's almost allowing Merkel to neutralise by not going for it enough, but I want to see more of that slice. He looks fatigued.
Thank you.
That's the weird thing, you know. They didn't play yesterday, whereas other nations like Canada are on court one right now. They played yesterday and today.
Well, I wonder, based on this, as you said earlier, with Go Jinwei, if we're going to see Justin Ho turn up for the Australia match tomorrow.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Xiamen in the women's
And
singles.
Xiamen, yeah.
And Justin Ho making his Sudirman Cup debut, maybe.
They are both ties which you'd expect them to win either way, based on the strength of their doubles too. But it'll all be saved and worked out. Put the best team forward to beat Japan on Thursday.
That's the grand aim, yeah. But, you know, with Miyazaki and Narioka as their men's and women's singles, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And of course, that's not to take away from their great doubles as well. So that's
Challenge
out.
unsuccessful. No challenges remaining.
19 all. Here we are again.
19 all. Play.
Oh, we said at the end of the first game how it was refreshing to have it so close to the end. Well, there's even more at stake now.
It's a real coin toss, this second game at the moment. I don't trust.
But yes, exactly.
The
Don't trust IR. Beautiful.
See, how many times have we actually seen that though today? That's what?
20,
2 or 3? Yeah.
3 max.
If that. I can remember 2 certainly, but we haven't seen him hit through Merkle very often at all.
Now, Merkle has to get over that disappointment. It's match point.
I thought we'd see a little flick serve there. Oh, he's gone long.
Can you believe it?
There's a challenge here, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter at all.
Oh.
In fact, he's withdrawn his challenge.
Was he withdrawn the challenge or refused the challenge? I'm not sure.
Could have been overruled, I guess.
Leon got through it one way or another.
So Go Jinwei and Long Junhao.
Match won by Malaysia, 22-20, 21-19.
They win the tie, 3-0. Not a sparkling performance, but as I said, if you can win when you're not playing well, then that is always good.
That's always good. I suspect Kenneth Jonassen's going backstage and he's going to be scratching his head at the state of the men's and women's singles for Malaysia, to be honest.
Well, as I said earlier, the talk was great, you know, build up to the Sudirman Cup. But when you see it in action on court, he's got a lot of thinking to do, and I'm sure he's going to get his little black book out. 22-20, 21-19, 55 minutes. And Malaysia win the tie 3-0, but we've still got 2 matches to come. Coming up next, it is Pearly Tan and Tina Muritaran. They're a trusted pair up against Margot Lambert and Camille Poniat. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to sunny Xiamen for our continuing live coverage of the Sudirman Cup 2025 finals here at the Fenghuang Gymnasium. It's day 2 of the competition, still a group stage and Group C in action, and this is the state of play in the tie between Malaysia and France. And as you can see, Malaysia have already secured the tie with a 3-0 win, but women's doubles and mixed doubles still to come. All 5 matches played in the group stage, and Pearly Tan and Tina Muritaran, the overwhelming favourites here against Margot Lambert and Camille Poniat. And there they are, and the only reason well, not the only reason that I'd say they're the overwhelming favourites is they have a very well-established partnership, Pearly and Tina, at the highest level. Now, top 10. And it's essentially a scratch pairing for Margot Lambert, who used to play her badminton with Anh Tran, who's not been in the squad, or selected for the squad this time round. But definitely one of the linchpins of Kenneth Jonassen's strategy, Tan and Tina. It is the fourth match of the time. And here come the ladies now. Set in other news, Japan also 3-0 up against Australia. They've won that tie, but it is close for Korea versus Canada. 1-1 on that tie as they move into the third match. All smiles on Pearly and Tina's face, and a little bit more concerned focus on the French ladies walking behind them.
They're absolutely adored, aren't they, worldwide, Tan and Tina?
Oh, they put so much into their matches. It's not just the, as you said before, the solidity of Tina and the flair of Pearly, but it is that spirit. They don't like to lose. They'll play. They were part of that famous 200-shot rally against Korea that I watched a couple of years back. They just won't stop.
No, and they play with it's the smiles on the faces I love. Win or lose, you know, they give everything like you said, and but they play with such enjoyment of the game.
Yeah, they do love it. I can just talking about that endurance. I also remember as Jacob Sindberg gets on with the coin toss. Remember one match where Tina played such a long rally, was so exhausted that she actually had to go and be physically ill into the basket. And that's the kind of effort that she was putting in there. Pearly, of course, immediately went over there and the game was stopped for a bit. But they'll play till they drop. And it's almost unlucky for them, the fact that the women's doubles division on the HSBC BWF World Tour is so competitive. And they don't go higher up than they should. And there she is. Her father was a badminton player, in fact owned a badminton club. So she's had badminton in her blood since she was born. All up north in Malaysia, in Kedah. And there you go, confirmation of them ranked in the top 5. And there's her very, very solid partner.
They were told, I think, to you know, to look focused and fierce in these shots. It's really strange to see photos of Tan and Tina not smiling. Looks odd.
True.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah, you're right. That was the photographer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they went in there smiling,
Yeah.
wanted to do it. He said, no, let's make it a bit more dramatic.
Look at Tina in the background. She's just, they're just laughing throughout everything they do. I love it.
Well, the Badminton Association of Malaysia definitely knows their value. They're currently negotiating contracts for new ones, and they've been given a free, they said, the Badminton Association said, you know what, you are so valuable, take your time. Come and sign it whenever you like, or put badminton in the blood for sure. And I think the addition of Tina when they became a partnership was, as you said, so integral to have that, you know, in football terms, I remember that term water carrier, you know, the way you've got to have that person in the middle, a midfield that's just going to do the hard work. And that's what Tina does well. Now, Camille Pognant, 18 years old, youngster, do you know anything about her?
Very little, if I'm honest. Obviously, we know a lot about Margot Lambert, yeah, and the success she's had with Anh Tran over the years, European champions last year. Weren't there to defend that this year because Anh Tran's not around, but I don't know a great deal about the teenager, Pognante. she's quite new to this sort of level, and I think it's another match where
could be overwhelming.
Yeah, we could see some long rallies. It might be quite competitive, but the defence of the Malaysians is incredible. They've also got that creative flair from Pearly Tan in particular, and the hard-working Tina Muralitharan. That yes, it's going to be tough. No matter what the French throw at the Malaysians, in the end they'll find a way through this, I'm sure.
Jacob Sindberg and Liu Yun, umpire and service judge for these. So about ready to get underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Malaysia, represented by Tina Muralitharan and Pearly Tan. And on my left, France, represented by Marco Lambert and Camille Cognan. France to serve, Camille Cognan to Tina Muralitharan. Love all.
So, Camille Pognant to serve. Unsurprisingly, Tina immediately on the attack.
One, love.
I'm not sure I can really remember a women's doubles pair that have been that have gained the fan base that these two have across the world. It's not just the Malaysians that want to see them win. As long as it's a neutral match, there are so many people that want to see Tan and Tina do well, including myself, actually.
I said there's two sides to a sportsman. I mean, if you look at the results of a pair like Chen Xingchen and Jia Yifan, it's incredible. I mean, they are unbelievable. But it's the personality, it's the character. You know, they come out almost as just machines. They do the business and they know what to do. But you feel the heart with Pearly. You feel the heart with Tina. That's the difference. And that, I think, is so important in sport, to have that, to have those characters.
Yeah, elevating the game for sure.
And just making it a bit more relatable, a bit more human, you know? You really do get that feeling with them. It's not lost in Malaysia, as you said. It's regional and if not global. And, you know, players and pairs like that, they don't need to be world number one. They don't need to be perfectly brilliant because they're good enough. Pearly attacking from the back court.
Yeah, big smash. She's got the power, but she's also got the flair and the deception too. She's got some absolutely lovely shots.
Yeah, stop drop from the back.
Yeah, and she's got creativity in the forecourt too, the trick shots and like you were saying, the sort of workhorse, if you like, Tina Muralitharan. She's just solid.
Allows her to play, yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Said the only, and I mean this is really nitpicking, but the only criticism you could say for Tan and Tina is that Pearly Tan does throw herself around this court, and there have been a few injuries. You said there was one just recently as well, but over the last few years she's taken knocks.
Yeah, in Europe in March, it was either the Swiss Open or the Orléans Masters. I was at both, and I can't remember which one it was, unfortunately, but they'd won the first game in their, I think it was their quarter-final. Comfortably were 16-10 up in the second, and Pearly Tan went over badly on her ankle. It's still strapped up today, in fact, so I think it's her left ankle. You can see the sort of skin-coloured-ish taping. And that's still from that injury.
Well, from what I remember,
she couldn't walk. I'm talking, she was hobbling. And somehow they got through the last few points and got through to the semis.
That's what I mean.
She came out to play the semi-finals, and I'm not joking. She was on one leg. She couldn't even put much, and continued the match. They finished the match.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Endurance, you know. But I've seen she's had an elbow, she's had wrist, she had ankle, knee. This is all over the last 3 or 4 years. And in fact, there was one interview where she actually broke down in tears and said, "I'm so sorry I get injured so much," to the fans.
Nice shot.
Oh, she's pulling out all the stops now.
Brilliant attacking.
So much deception on the racket.
Little reverse slice and then backs up by the smash. And again, it's not the power of the smash that comes here.
It's the placement.
Yeah, ties up the racket hip. You can hit the hip, the pocket, if you like, on the racket side. It's very difficult.
Near impossible to apply. Yeah.
With any quality, because you get tied up. You can't work out if you should play it forehand, backhand.
And you haven't got the time to turn.
And your racket is in here. Whereas if it's out in front or to the side, you've got time to lift it into the corners. You can't in here.
So it's essentially a blind spot. Physically, it's a blind spot.
Exactly.
7-4 up.
Oh, the shot was on. Tina was running off.
8-4. That was an opportunity for the French ladies. Tina not usually out of position that much.
Well, it was Pearly Tan being a bit mad going cross, if I'm honest. But that's what she does.
It's also her first time out on court. Bit enthusiastic.
Yeah.
8-5, good buffer. Oh, nice little hold there from Pearly.
Just quality with the racket. That's going to be enough today by the looks of things, what we've seen so far. I know we're only 7 minutes into this, but Pearly Tan is just dictating.
Service over. 6-9.
Well, we haven't seen Lambert and Pognant have any kind of proactive plan that they can put together, because that shuttle just keeps coming back.
Yeah, they're not being given the opportunity to, really.
That's it, yeah.
Service over. 10-6.
Gorgeous shot from Pearly.
That came a bit short, but good recovery.
Good body defense as well. Well, I'm sure Rexy Malaiki's going to be happy with that outcome. 11-6. Not just from the score, but from the movement, the accuracy. Very few unforced errors in that first half of the first game. Well, back on court, and let's not forget, of course, Pearly and Tina, first ever Malaysian pair to make the semi-finals at the Olympics last year. Narrowly missed out on the bronze medal. Oh, that's very nice from Camille. Predicted where Pearly was going to be, sent it over ahead. But they're maintaining this 4-point buffer and doing it well.
Pearly Tan just walking out of the way to allow her partner to go and hit the attack. I'm not sure what that was from Pognante.
I don't think she does.
That shrug of the shoulders, shake of the head.
Even the coaches with a wry smile. Well, it's good for the neutral viewer watching everywhere around the world. It just goes to show you that even at the highest level, sometimes shots just go wrong.
Yeah, everybody's human.
Well, that was a wonderful backhand grip from Perlitan.
Yeah, the first one was very tricky. She kind of brushed across the shuttle, hit it sideways. Didn't actually prove to be that deceptive, but the second one was good quality.
Well, she's running things from the back right now. Tina pretty much rooted to that tee, or either left of it.
It's actually
look at that shot.
Yeah, that's the same one again. It's actually very deceptive because the racket's moving this way to the left, but the shuttle's going right.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to play, actually. And like you said earlier, we know them for those long, exhausting rallies.
Which we're not getting.
When we see them come up against the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, because that's how they have to play. We're not going to see that today. They're just having some fun out there, I think.
Yeah. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the longest rally we've seen so far is under 20 shots. But if it was the likes of Lee So-hee and Bae Ka-na on the other side, for example, then that's going to be going on for a while.
Yeah, well, they're playing.
Matsuyama and Shida.
They're playing I was about to say, on Thursday they'll play the Japanese, and it's Iwanaga and Nakanishi today for Japan, but it might well be them, and we'll definitely see some long rallies in that one. Although conditions here don't look that slow.
Right, yeah.
Which doesn't bode well for the longer rallies. You know, somebody's attack eventually ends up coming through.
Still is going to be a huge match. That is, once again, on Thursday morning on court 1. Mark that down in your calendars. But to be honest with you, all the matches on Thursday and Friday, Wednesday and Thursday, the last two group stage matches are going to be spectacular. This could be the longest rally we've seen.
Quite enjoying that refreshing camera angle as well, actually. That was different.
That was good.
Some nice shots in there. I think Ponyante in particular, that backhand to get them out of trouble.
That's it. It's the longest rally, 26 shots.
A little bit complacent from Tan.
That's actually the first mistake that she's made in this game. I haven't seen
She didn't move her feet. She was just backing herself with the racket there.
But again, you might just be getting this feeling, as we've seen with a lot of the other Malaysian entrants as well. When you're 16-9 up, it's been this easy. You're just beginning to pull back a bit. 95% it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, even less. Oh, that is lovely. Good work from Perlitan.
Moved across court nicely. They
don't have the court covered quite as well as Margot Lambert used to with her former partner, An Tran.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if An Tran's injured, actually, or whether she's taken a break from the game. Let's find out, actually.
Well, I haven't seen her at many tournaments, so it could be a break. Well, Lambert should have left that. That was actually going out.
18.
But she took it, and it's 18-10. After just 14 minutes. Very fast pace to this match.
Service over. 11-19. Service over. 20, game point 11.
So 9 game points.
Service over. 12-20.
And a chance for Lambert and Poignant. But 8 points back. Can't really see this. That's a comeback.
Unsighted.
Oh, a Hawkeye on serve. I like this.
Free use of Hawkeye.
My instinct says it was short. Actually, I think I'll go with. I think it was Tina that left this. Taking a while this week, Hawkeye, aren't they? I think.
It's been a little bit longer. That heartbeat's definitely been heard. A little bit longer, but there it is.
Oh, it's in.
Oh, wow.
Well in.
Well in, yeah.
13-20. Play.
So, 21-13.
Won by Malaysia, 21-13.
And Pearly Tan and Tina well on the way.
À partir du moment où vous posez, vous allez regarder où elle est au crâne. Si vous jouez sur son revers, elle va fixer dans tous les sens. Okay, donc si elle est en face de vous, on essaie de recentrer un petit peu, tout le temps sur le coup droit. Okay, tout le temps sur son coup droit. Parce que là, elle vous fait vraiment mal. Okay. Retourner le service, on essaie de pousser un petit peu plus souvent le fil, surtout si leur service est ok. S'il est excentré. On essaie d'enlever ce jeu un petit peu en volume qu'elles essaient d'apprendre. Ok. Ouais. Défense, on continue, on joue simple, en face de soi et après on lève la raquette. On a vu qu'elles sortent assez vite, elles continuent à mettre du poids, donc si on défend en face, on est prêt à ce niveau-là pour ensuite contrer. Mais que sur la deuxième défense, pas sur la première.
Call 2, 20 seconds. Call 2, 20 seconds. Okay? Yeah. Second game. Level. Play.
So, game 2 has started. And it is going to be uphill for sure. ahead nicely. 3-love. Love. Lambert and Ponyant are facing the full fury of Perlitan and Tina from this side of the court. But that's very nice from Lambert.
1-4.
Yeah, perfect net shot. Catches the tape.
Well, they certainly want to wrap this up quickly by the looks of it, the way they've started this second game. Nice touch from Pearly. That one's gone long, so they are dealing with that extra bit of wind. But that's not going to be a problem for them. As the one thing about Perlitan and Tinara is they don't need the back line. They're more than adept backcourt, midcourt, and forecourt.
5-2.
Credit to Margot Lambert. She's trying her best.
Service over. 3-5.
And they managed to break through the wall there. Pearly watching that back line. And again.
Good coverage from Ponyante.
Oh, they're playing much better, yeah.
Yeah.
The French pair in this point.
5.
They are playing better on Ponyante, but I still can't see them as overtaking Tarantina. Tarantina, as has been the case for most of these matches in this tie, haven't needed to get into a second gear.
That's poor. Can't afford mistakes of that sort of nature.
Can't afford mistakes against a pair like this, but they haven't been pushed.
Good change up. Something they haven't tried. I mean, they can try and play it so simple that it becomes a war of attrition, but that's dangerous because, again, Tarantina don't mind that sort of game either.
They've played the 200, 100 shot rallies. They'll quite easily go, but that was a wonderful angle found by Tina right through their opponents. She's got great vision and awareness. 7-4.
Service over. 5-7.
Oh, what a shot.
Service over.
I think it was actually Ponyante that left the gap. It looked like Lambert was expecting a partner to pick up that shot. Clever though from Perlitan.
That's a very ambitious shot there from the youngster.
They're under real pressure now. The Malaysians are starting to run away with this second game.
And still not having to get into a second gear by doing it.
That's lovely.
Nice little net shot there.
6-9.
Unanswered. Drops into open space.
Service over. 10-6.
Well, I caught Rexy looking at his watch earlier. I don't think he was too concerned with the way the match was going. He definitely wasn't sitting forward like he usually does when there's trouble. He was. And I think that's Rosman Rasak next to him.
Oh. Tina having to work really hard. That's a great shot.
Yeah.
Good use of the middle.
Great down the middle on the tee.
10. Service over.
Unlucky.
11-7. Interval.
So 11-7 at the break, and no significant problems to contend with for Tan and Tina. And Malaysia cruising towards their 4th point in the tie.
On essaye d'éviter tout ce qui est zone en ligne de service, vous allez vous faire tout seul un peu. On essaye aussi d'éviter tout ce qui est drive croisé, parce qu'il y a même chose.
Call 2, 25 seconds. Call 2, 25 seconds. 11-7. Play.
So, to the conclusion of game 2, and the way it's been going, it might just be the conclusion of this match. All credit to the French ladies, but Tan and Tina showing once again that they are worthy of a point. That was a good idea. For any other player, I would have said it was ambitious, but for Pearly Tan, she most probably could have pulled that off. Deep serve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was an incredible first defense. Second, a little bit too much.
And again, the positioning that put it right into that problem area, Pearly Tan. But this first pickup from her was fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah.
And that one ties her up. That's the quality of Lambert. She is a very good player, very talented player. I'm not sure she's in the best shape right now, physically.
Is that in? No, out. Good idea from Camille.
13-9.
Oh.
Just superb. Well read. Return of serve, knew exactly where it was coming back to.
And knew
Gets
exactly
her racket
where
ready.
she wanted to put it, yeah. Well, 2 shots to feed Camille, and then after that, it was all attack. couple of scares in the women's singles for Go Junwei, and 1 or 2 in the men's singles, but apart from that, Malaysia have not dropped a game so far.
Yeah, early turn again there.
And it looks like this is going to be straight sets as well. Oh, helped by the net. Different type of smile that time.
Well, we said late on in the first half of this game before the break, it looks like the Malaysians are running away, and that's what we're seeing, isn't it?
29, 11 match points.
7 points in a row as well.
7 points in a row, 11 match points, and seeing as how they haven't made any mistakes, I can't see them needing more than 2. But I certainly can't see Lambert and Ponyant putting together a 10-point run.
Too good.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, 31 minutes is all it took in the end. And a devastating 21-10 in the second. And Malaysia 4-0 up in the tie.
Really nice to see the Malaysians being given the freedom to play and just showcase their skills. It's not the best spectacle in terms of a match, if you like, but nice to see these 2 on court smiling and showcasing those shots.
Yeah, they've been smiling from start to finish, from the tunnel to now. It's been smiles, but again, we haven't seen them pushed into second gear. We will be seeing that later on in the week against Japan. For now, though, it's 4-0 on the tie, and that's why 21-13, 21-10 in 31 minutes. Beautiful performance from Pearly Tan and Tina Muralidharan, and that means that there's just 1 match left in this tie, and it's going to be a husband and wife affair. Goh Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie, who have been in tremendous form against Gregoire Deschamps and Elsa Jakob. It's coming up next. Don't miss it. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Sudirman Cup Finals 2025. This is the state of play on court 2 between Malaysia and France. And 4-0 up, haven't dropped a game. It's been pretty much flawless from them. A couple of scares in the women's singles and men's singles, but that doesn't matter. Mixed doubles is up next. Goh Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie taking on Gregoire Deschamps and Elsa Jakob. Well, there they are. They've had an up and down career, Goh Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai. Off court, of course, they did get, well, they found love and marriage. On court, they went through about 2 years where they just couldn't get a result. But recently, they have fired into life and have really been delivering. Sun Wat with the big smash from the back. Xiamen Lai, well, you're not going to find another player that is sublime at the net as Xiamen on her day. And of course, they have the enviable position of having to play their match 4-0 up in the tie. Bronze medalists at the Asian Championships in 2023 and winners of the Malaysia Masters last year and the Swiss Open. Before that, it was 2018. That was their last time that they won in Singapore. So they went through essentially 6 years without a title, but have found their form again and have been very good, very solid inclusion in the mixed doubles. As I said, Cheng Tang-ji and Toei Wee are also great players, currently going through a little bit of a communication issue, but there's no such problems for Goh Sun Wat and Xiamen Lai. Bobby Griffin still in the commentary box with me. Bobby, their opponents, Gregoire Deschamps and Elsa Jakob, this is a scratch pairing, right?
Yeah, and again, it's a development week for the French team. They've sent juniors, they've sent sort of future potential, they've sent young players.
To gain experience, yeah.
Yeah, don't know an awful lot about these two as a pair. If I'm honest, even if Tom Jikel and Delphine Delroux were here,
they would still.
I would probably have the Malaysians as favourites for this match, based on form. One of the best results in terms of ranking points for the French, and I'm talking about Jikel and Delroux, was of course the European Championships, the Continental for Europe, where they had to beat Vestergaard and Bush to gain, the best part of 6,000 ranking points. Well, that's not the same as getting to a quarter-final, semi-final at the Asian Championships. And so I think there's a problem in terms of when you look at ranking points and you look at where Europeans are compared to Asian stars, Asian badminton players. There's a bit of a disparity there. I mean, Goh and Lai beat Deschamps in the Asian Championships to get to a quarter-final and lost surprisingly to a young Indonesian pair.
Let's say you want red or you want black.
But in terms of form,
red.
These two have got the pick today over
they've had the harder opponents.
Yeah, exactly, and they're playing well. Like you said, they had that dip, they're now back, and they're looking pretty strong. So
they've been exceptional.
It's yet another match today where I think the French have got
a lot of work,
a tough task. Yeah.
And that is Andrea Cierpini back up in the big chair as the umpire. He'll be joined by Latif Jahouri as service judge. And the only thing that can really affect Goh Sun Wat and Xiamen Lai is complacency in this fifth match. But even then, I don't think they're going to succumb to it. So here is Goh Sun Wat. Used to be a singles player. Of course, his life has completely changed since then. 34 years old now. By the way, there's no talk of retirement from these two. And rightly so, because I think they're playing some of the best badminton of their careers right now.
They're lovely off court as well. They're two of the nicest people.
They really are. They really are. I interviewed them a lot when I was a sports journalist at ESPN, and they were always willing to come up and have a word, win or lose.
Yeah. See them at every tournament, and they're always happy to sit and have a chat with you in the in the hotel or in the restaurant or whatever. And yeah, they're just lovely.
So here is Gregoire Deschamps. He's 22 years old. He hasn't played that much. But they were first at the Portugal International Championships and Swedish Open, and second at the Estonian International. That was this year.
Ready to play?
Yeah, Deschamps played quite a few tournaments with Marco Lambert.
That's right, yeah. All of those were with
over the last
Margot
12,
Lambert.
well, probably 6 months, in fact, 6, 8, 9 months.
Well, I'm guessing that because Margot was just in the women's doubles, and now they're looking out the 18-year-old Elsa Jakob.
I'm surprised, actually, that Margot's not playing 2 events.
And they split them up during the day, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been that they started the day with mixed and ended with
right.
women's doubles to allow her to get some rest in between, and she could have played here with this man on screen. But
well, being 18, as you can imagine, a lot of people are not going to know much about this young talent from France, and this is a big stage for her. There is confirmation of our service judge and umpire. Well, she plays women's doubles and mixed doubles. Ranked 153 in mixed and 180 in women's. Usually plays
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Malaysia, represented by Fenghuang and Xiamen.
well, as an answer to your question, Elsa Jakob's been playing with Anne Tran as early as March 2025.
Level, play.
And she's on the round of 16, in fact.
I was going to say, without a huge amount of success, I think.
No, they haven't at all. A couple of matches. In fact, it was Baekana and Lee So-hee that, well, absolutely destroyed them. 21-8, 21-9. Well, we're underway here. Match 5 of the tie.
There's the power, the big forehand from Fenghuang.
I mean, he's a big guy, and that's the thing. If he elevates as well, if he jumps as well, you're talking about 8 foot. You know, he can come down very steep, very hard. So the last thing you want to do is lift to the back with Fenghuang there. But of course, then you've got the added problem of Siobhan Lai just owning the net at the front. So it is very difficult to find space. I'll take that.
4-1.
At one point, he had one of the biggest smashes in the Malaysian badminton circuit. In fact, I think if I'm right, it was only eclipsed by Tan Boon Hyung. Tan Boon Hyung had the fastest smash at the time. But Fenghuang was
in mixed doubles?
Oh, no. This is individuals as smashers. But Tan Boon Hyung was a men's doubles, right?
Ranky Reddy's got the world record.
Well, yeah, nowadays.
Yes,
There's something 545 kilometers or something. Crazy. But he's 34 now. I said when Go was in his mid-20s, he was certainly one of the big hitters. Good touch. Just as we've seen for the rest of the day, Bobby, just not really having to push out of first gear. Well, I wonder if it will be all changed tomorrow morning. Cheng Tang-ji and Toei Ri getting a run out against Australia, Len Shana getting a run out, Justin Ho getting a run out. Aaron Chan, So Yik perhaps maybe even getting a run out.
Could be an entirely different team, couldn't it? Or it could be the same team and perhaps they're just warming them up for the big match on Thursday against Japan.
That's right. I guess, yeah, they've got nothing really to worry about with Aaron Chan. So Yik, recently crowned Badminton Asian champion. Nice pickup.
Yeah, it seems anyone can win men's doubles at the moment. I don't mean anyone, but I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of
the top 15 in the world. You wouldn't be surprised if any of the pairs takes the title.
Very competitive. Well, I was happy for Aaron and so. They're still one of these teams that make Olympics, they make the world champions, they make Asian champions, but still just that one World Tour title.
Speaking of mixed, though, I mean, it's being dominated again by the Chinese, in my opinion.
Fenghuang and Huang Longping, Zhang Xiamen.
I don't even think those two are the best. Yeah, it's...
Wei Yaozin and Zhang Zhenban?
Nope.
Really?
I mean, they've got such strength and depth, it's really hard to sort of argue, but...
Bobby finds that out. I can tell you we're 10-2 and close to the mid-game interval immediately. We're going to talk for 4 minutes. Uncharacteristic mistake from Siobhan Wright. She usually nails those from there.
Yeah, in actual fact, I'd probably agree. I think Fenghuang Jie is just a real force to be reckoned with.
And we're not just talking about his physical stature of being 6'5".
No,
he moves like a 5-foot man.
Yeah, just unbelievable. You can't serve to him.
No,
that's he's almost.
He plays in a different atmosphere.
Yeah. He's got a great partner in Huang Longping, but Wei Yaxin's fantastic, and so is Chen Fenghui as well.
Chen Fenghui, Guo Xinhua, that's the other one. That's the other mixed doubles,
Did they win the All England, or were they lost in the final?
Came close. But you're right, it gets confusing when you've got 3 top pairs like that.
And at the time, they were all scratched going into March, you know?
Yeah. I'm feeling you just pick and choose. So, 11-4 at the break.
Comme ça, lui, il peut pas continuer à taper, avancer progressivement.
2:20 seconds for 2:20 seconds. Break. Hey! 12, 4.
Keeping Elsa Jakob in the rear courts. It's clever from the Malaysians.
They are good at controlling.
Well, they are. As soon as they get into the right formation as well, if Xiamen Jemilai can sort of cut things out in the mid-court with her forehand, being a left-hander, they then try and go cross. And of course, you've got this massive figure of Go Xinhua with his forehand ready, and they need to try and get them out of rotation. They need to try and get Xiamen into the left side.
Break that formation. You're right. Get them rattled. Well, as I said, at 31 and 34, they are wise to these ploys by their opponents, and they do stand firm. And this is, as I said, it's not second gear for them, but it's exactly the score that I was expecting to come out. They're just too solid.
Good return.
5-15. 5-14.
Giaffini always likes to assert himself on a match, doesn't he? You know it's him when he's umpiring. You don't need the microphone.
Yeah. Throws his voice well.
15-5.
Well, Deschamps with a shot at glory, didn't work out.
He's missed a couple.
I do feel for all the French pairs and players. I mean, they really needed to be on their top game. They needed to have 0, if possible, unforced errors, which is almost, as I said, impossible.
Elsa Jakob was kind of told to get out of the way. Deschamps was going to hit the smash, and I think Xiamen had just ducked below the net, thinking she's about to take the smash on it. It almost landed on her head. She just closed her eyes.
Well, he's a big lad, Deschamps. If he's going to smash at you, I'd get out of the way.
But he didn't. It was Elsa who just hit a drop shot. But you're right. She was right to do that if the big smash was coming. She was out of position.
Self-preservation kicks in at some point, you know. Oh, that's what I mean. She reads the game so quickly. 17-6. I wouldn't even class that as an interception. She just had the racket movement. Everyone knew exactly where that shuttle was going to turn up. And then pumps it down. 17-6. Oh, wonderful combination again. Great stuff from going line. 18-6. Look at that. All that space right down the middle. Now this for Deschamps and Jakob is going to be psychologically distressing. 18-6, and they have tried their best. Oh, bit wide from Xiamen.
Serve 7-18.
A very slim mathematical chance off this serve. Deschamps and Jakob. That's a nice return from Deschamps, but he's pushed that very wide.
Serve over. 19-7.
Well, stern look on the French coaches, as you'd expect.
Game point.
So,
7.
game point.
Just brilliant. It's been a dominating performance by the Malaysians in this match so far.
Malaysia, 21-7.
21-7 in 10 minutes. I'm guessing longest rally under 10. 7, 8?
Yeah, there haven't been many.
Oblige-la à vraiment s'avancer. Là, elle est sur sa ligne à chaque fois. Ouais, oblige-la à se projeter vers l'avant. Comme ça, après, il y aura peut-être aussi plus d'espace entre les deux. À partir du moment où vous êtes un peu sous pression, soit c'est vraiment proche du fil, soit vous passez au-dessus. Okay. Là, vous cherchez les zones, les deux, ils sont vraiment bien passés, ils arrivent à s'organiser aussi côte-côte, et ensuite, ils vous le roulent dessus en avance. Donc, vraiment, on enlève la vitesse, ou alors on passe au-dessus pour tranquille en défense. Et pas première défense en réaction. Okay, donc avec la bonne hauteur. Et ensuite on cherche à ce que tu là, essaies de le faire sur les zones. D'abord on donne la
So the 20-second call as we get to game 2. Change of ends, of course. And to summarize what was going on in the French camp, it was essentially just try your best.
Level.
But there are very few opportunities and spaces for them to work into.
Yeah, this match has been scripted from well, when the draws were written, really. And it could have been the other Malaysian pair out here, but I think the result will be the same.
Yeah.
Silva. 1 all.
Be quite interesting, the matchup between France and Australia.
Yeah.
This week, I suspect France will do quite well. In fact, it might even be a 4-1 or even a 5-0.
Well, as I said, all respect to both teams. They're going to be equally balanced, I think.
Yeah, the women's doubles will be quite interesting. That'll be the match to really look for in that tie.
Somerville and Angela Yu have been a successful partnership for Australia.
Yeah, against Lambert and Toniate. Oh, bit of luck from Deschamps there.
More developed rally.
He's playing singles at the moment, Deschamps. I think Elsa Jakob wanted to sort of run out and pick up one of those cross lifts, but sort of hesitated, and in the end Deschamps ends up on the back foot.
That was a nice response from Jakob.
3 all.
And they've started a little more brightly here. 3 all.
Nice idea.
4.
Fairly poor execution, however.
Great pickup by Deschamps. He's a big man. He got down low. But as usual, Siobhan Lai knows where that shuttle's going to be.
It's very underrated in that respect, because it's very easy just to have stood her ground with a forehand ready on the left side of the court there. But it would have left the gap, which in fact he found. But because she had that cover too, just brilliant. And it's the movement, the sort of anticipation of the unlikely almost, which makes it so special.
That's nice reaction from Jakob.
6-5.
Wow.
6 all.
Such an important player, Siobhan Lai. Prefers it mid-court, forecourt at the net, exactly what she's doing now. But if needed, can switch back to the big power game from backcourt.
Yeah, she's got some strength, hasn't she? Good technique.
And a much closer game so far. Uncharacteristic mistake.
7 all. Servizola, 8, 7. Servizola, 8,
So 9-all. And so far, a little bit more of a test for Going Lai.
10-9.
And whether that's down to taking their foot off the pedal, a little bit of complacency.
I quite like this rotation. Oh, that was going out. Jakob taking no chances. Good rotation from the French pair. I think they've got to try something, and if Elsa Jakob... Oh, what a shame. If Elsa Jakob's been playing a lot of women's doubles, level doubles, then why not allow her to come out? Because they've got to try something different here, and they're almost playing this rally in a more level style way. Elsa Jakob took on as many shots from the back of the court as she did
and
as a partner.
They're certainly keeping it flatter, which is good because Go Sun-Hwan is not getting the service that he wants. But 11-9, very close at the break.
Par rapport à la main. À chaque fois que tu as essayé de chercher la zone, c'était une faute, c'était un peu trop. Okay, donc vraiment simple, on enchaîne, on enchaîne. Même chose en attaque, c'est beaucoup mieux, on continue. Premier coup, on continue aussi comme ça, vous allez les déranger. Plus proche du fil, encore. Et à partir du moment où vous l'avez fait le derrière, elle fait que de descendre le tournoi blanc. Elle attaque tout le temps. Donc prête à faire cette faute, et on prend l'attaque directe.
T'as mis les pattes croisées. Faut être sur le... Ah ouais.
Et ça. 11-9. Play.
So back on court for the conclusion of game 2. Going Lai still in the lead, but by a narrower margin this time. Deschamps and Jakob have been keeping it a bit tighter. A few less unforced errors. But they've also, as you said, Bobby, they've been mixing it up a little. They've got nothing to lose. Caught out there a little bit, Deschamps.
Yeah, Elsa Jakob for me looks a little bit stranded at times. They're cleverly playing past her a lot.
Yeah.
And she's not getting enough of the shuttle. I'd like to see her take a few more risks. Like, you may as well try and proactively cover one side.
Yeah.
To at least then ensure that's covered, and if that means Deschamps got a bit more work to do, so be it.
Deschamps, good idea down the line, just pushes it wide, and it's a 3-point lead. As I said, they have got nothing to lose. The important point is just at the top left of your screen, 4-0 is the tie score. Malaysia are happily through this tie. Yeah. Whatever happens. So
Japan beat Australia 5-0 comfortably, didn't they? So that will level that group standing.
So that set up that Thursday tie for sure. And so now it's a question, well, as said, for Deschamps and Jakob to try and get as much playtime as they can before this, what for them will be the crunch match against Australia. Oh, lucky bounce off the net. 3 points back.
11-14.
That's a wonderful cross-court smash from Deschamps. Actually makes me wonder that if he got that service, look at this, gets up nicely, pings it.
Yeah, it's a good setup. The drop shot he used to get that lift was, it came off the net, and from Xiamen, it's better.
Yeah. faster intensity from them.
A bit more proactive, I think, from Deschamps, which is nice.
And tempo as well. They've upped the pace. 1 point back.
It's over. 15, 13.
Again, Deschamps in the right place at the right time.
14, 15.
Taking a few more risks, that's what I'm looking for, and that's what they're doing here.
They're
Xiamen's,
showing a little less respect to their opponents.
Well, they're just, trying something a bit different. I mean, Xiamen's return of serve, in normal circumstances, Deschamps wouldn't have been there. You know, it's Jakob's job to get back to the net. But he was, and that's great. It's a little bit unorthodox.
16, 14.
It's always good to be a bit unpredictable. Oh, almost caught out. But that fed Fenghuang. And that's the thing with Fenghuang. If he hits one of those big shots, it's either going to land or it's going to put you in a really difficult defensive position to try and get a decent shot back because of the power of it. So 17-14, and that shot, that's another uncharacteristic mistake from Xiamen. She's usually very comfortable with hitting the corner from that distance. Too many errors from Deschamps especially. Jakob's been a little bit tighter.
Jakob's not doing enough damage from the forecourt, in my opinion. That's the problem. That's better. That's better.
Very nice. I think she heard you.
And it doesn't need to be devastating winners. She just needs to be in the right position and playing a good choice of shots. And it's been, until the last few points, it's been quite a passive forecourt effort from her.
Well, 18-16 is now 18-17, and they will be very happy.
Malaysia challenges called in.
Just occurred to me that we haven't had any challenges. This is one of the first in this match. Well, look at that. That's extremely in.
I thought it was a bizarre challenge.
Yep. End of game.
17,
challenge.
18. Play.
17-18. This serve crucial. Wonderful from Xiamen Lai. Oh, that's great from Deschamps. I think they may have just found their footing.
Credit to the French team here for mixing things up and changing stuff for game two. It's been a completely different match than the first.
Absolutely.
A lot more proactive recently from Jakob around the net, which is great.
Well, they were blown off court essentially in the first game.
She actually should have made that. She was in good position. She worked hard to get in good position, and the shot let her down.
Great body defense from Jakob. Good pickup from Go Sun-hwan. Unfortunate, and so it is. 2 match points.
Yesterday we were watching England-Indonesia and talking about it's a development team out here this week, and you know the job is to try and learn as you go and improve as you go along. We've seen that in this match because it's the same case for the French. The development team have come out.
Yeah.
You can see by the score, they've done so much better in the second. They've learned, they've evolved, they've changed tactics, they've done something different. They're going to lose this. Let's be fair. Well, I say that you don't expect.
I know. I agree with you. I mean, that's all. The errors have been few and far between the goal line, and I have a funny feeling that they will, even in extra points, I think they will.
Even if it went to 3, if the French win this and go to 3, I still see the Malaysians coming through.
In the end, they didn't need it. It was 21-18. 21-19, sorry, and 5-0 on the score.
Big improvement in game 2, though, for Jakob and Deschamps, which was really, really impressive.
So Malaysia do come through 5-0 winners, but there were a couple of scares along the way, especially in women's singles and Long Junhao, and I said we both expect very different makeup tie against Australia tomorrow. But you're right, good improvement from Deschamps and Jakob.
We didn't necessarily see that in every match.
That's true.
I'd argue that the ones that were close, this one for example, and also in the women's singles against Go Jin-wei, but that was very different. That was very much how much Go Jin-wei wanted to put in for Malaysia to get through that singles. This mixed doubles was impressive from Deschamps and Jakob in the second.
So there's confirmation, 21-7, 21-19 in 29 minutes, and Malaysia run out 5-0 winners in their first tie here at the Sudirman Cup. And there's confirmation of it. Didn't drop a game throughout. It was Go Zifei and Nur Azudin first off with a 2-0 win. Then Go Jin-wei with a very lucky 2-0 win in the women's singles. Long Junhao also a little bit lucky in the men's singles with 2-0. Pearly Tan and Tina Muritaran showed their true value with straight games win in 32 minutes before, as we just watched, Go Sun-hwan and Siobhan Lai Jamie in 29 minutes make it 5-0 and put Malaysia up with Japan on the top of the group. Up next, it is the next session that's going to be happening at 5 p.m. local time, and that is Chinese Taipei taking on Czechia. Don't go anywhere. Don't miss it. We'll catch you then. Thanks a lot.
May session's got a driver on.